finally time for PGL.
Their way up banana. If a mid info players just come out, they can rotate back towards B. Force can be here.
Stage,
Eagles have to respect this. They have to go. If they don't go now, they're just going to be walking into a wall.
But
you're
that's
waiting for GXX
fine.
to jump to all the nades to him. He's going to be dumping the full set. One of each.
Auto.
Go down. It's Norvi onto Flatro as well. Norvi doing it all again. This is his sight, and he repels the invaders. 23 and fours will put themselves up to a successful CT half.
It is insane how many kills this kid has. 23. Nobody else on his team even has double digits. He is just blowing him out of the water right now, just round after round, pumping him.
First we had Patsy, now we've got another, Norvi, another name to remember on his debut in the major circuit.
Yeah, this is wild scenes right here. Looking to grab 9. It's going to be against the light buy, just some Tech 9s, Deagles, Mac 10, best they can muster right here, and it looks like it could be pacey.
Yeah, you can see a smoke all the way from downtown towards long side. Flatro charging, bouncing, finds Shelfie, and nothing more to report. Not a single frag. Synopsy.
Alright, so
bit of a
Forsen,
unloading his Tech 9 as the smoke's been pushed and Norvi's done it
I actually
all
have no
to finish.
idea.
Damn, 25 on the half.
What a half.
These two
what
teams.
a half, an absolute mauling.
That will definitely be one to remember. You'll be
now,
watching that demo on the low days for years to come.
Where did I go
and
last
that's
time?
if he can go ahead and continue to keep this up. I mean, you don't think anyone would have an expectation of him getting 25 in the second, but good God, he's close to 30 in the first half, Chad. That is absurd. That needs to be overstated or restated as much as we possibly can. The dude has come in and is feeling himself.
I have permission.
Patsy too. None, like what pressure? Just not felt.
He's had 9 multi-kill rounds.
Jeez.
He has 100.
You don't need the fucking minimap.
ADR
You're
in
fucking
the first
clueless.
half.
Just look at the fucking
monster
kill
performance
feed,
this
right?
is.
It's kill feed.
And he has to buy the utility as well, so he's going to do it all apparently, Norvi. Smoke 2 flashes for him. Jerry with a HE and a Molotov. No P250s in the mix right here.
Flashes for that early mid-info.
Nade on the toes.
He's caught the flash. He's caught the nade. Up next, the Glock bullet to the dome.
I didn't get any info either.
I didn't read through the document.
And that utility has denied it. So now they can just commit away. The feet are planted B. This is such a well-constructed pistol. GXS forced away, and they've got the full squad committing through the arches. This is where GXX can call for backup. Scenari's there, and on the repeat, 3 of them do manage to get the crosshairs in the right place. A good catch from Flatro as 2 maneuvering back through that smoke. Keeping the CTs guessing as they do converge on A.
He's clear.
And it's just like that. Shot as Jerry nimble back from 2 different avenues. Set to collect the pistol, make it 10. Looking like he was hitting him, partner up and click some heads. It's up to Zorti. Synopsy on the reload.
Alright, so we
neutralized. And 4's up to 10.
Are these 2 fucking sumo
That pistol
teams?
right there, I'm just thinking it through. I want to know what Jerry's been taking to come up with a pistol around like that. If the intention was quite literally to run through CT arch, establish a little bit of spawn control, and then go back through library to use your own smoke to then, like, really?
It worked.
Was that the intention? Because if it was, bloody brilliant.
It's Rain Man Counter-Strike. It is, yeah. The fact that the smoke was still up, like there was almost disbelief, like where did that come from? It's still up. It's still up. The chaos, the pandemonium, it went on for just 10 seconds. They like to move quickly. Both of the squads in the server today.
Both into a, well, not both into a force, both into a buy. The Eagles have invested what they can. Now, we saw the pistols be pretty potent in the first half, but
they're playing 1-5
right here, right now. 2 Mac 10s, 2 Galils, and an AK to deal with on the other side of things. And they have smokes to limp on through, but already deployed deep banana, already deployed top mid, and we still have 1:20 left on the clock right now. So Force can play this one by the book. They can wait out the util. There's no rush.
Millennials getting fucked by these
some
Zoomers
cheeky
on the other
games, mind
team.
games there. Jerry to try and bait for Norvi. No one is close banana, so that's given for free. A lot of pressure on the shoulders of Synopsy.
The game is unironically older than Team Forsen.
With his Deagle. Should Jerry throw a CT smoke, the likely response is a smoke of Synopsy's own, or never mind. I think they're already past that mark. They're already in. He's begging for help. Some damage done. But the site lost. Norvi leaping across to stay mobile and get that info. The site is clear.
Didn't see him. They didn't see him.
They didn't, and that should be the end of both. Jumping for joy is Shalfie 2 on that Mac-10. Tucks into tree just in time. Zorti deleted by that Juan Dig from Juan Flatro.
Juan Dig.
Any more of them? Got any more of those where that came from? A nice smoke at least enables the cross, and the spray from Norvi will see 28 as he ascends further.
Okay, well, 30 seems very doable right now. Let's see if he can go for 40, shall we? Gets him back in towards the B-bomb side. That's where he's the most comfortable. It's his natural habitat here for Norvi, just sitting in the back of the site, mowing him on down.
Tilted keyboard.
And he's cool as a cucumber. Not even
just chilling out, dropping bombs.
Fucking everyone is playing
stuff right now.
Yeah, you're 2 games deep of the first major, and now you find yourself dropping 28 and 8. There are some players that have attended multiple majors without a performance like this. Doing it for Force.
For
his very own legacy. Flatro, quick one. Confirms presence mid. The flash for the push. Jerry aware.
More for Norvi.
Yeah, this looks like it could be the 30. Synopsy good for it. Galil does get scooped on up.
Cover the AK.
The retreat. Barrel spotted and a close smoke to deter commitment.
They do have A. They just have to get past this one player in pit of Rigon, but he has a Deagle, so that might be problematic if they take too long in the rotation. It's full, it's coming, it's quick.
Yeah, and Shalfie's smoke is great. You can see they're going to be paranoid about long side, and just as the smoke comes up, a little USP dink from Scenari. He's got the short end of the stick in the weapon department. And Rigon right on his nose, a HE. The blood splatter doesn't betray him though, and cleared into the Deagle. Oh, an opportunity.
He was hiding.
Just shy onto the beret of Zorti. Still good onto Scenari, and 2 before he's met by that Galil damage, but not enough. And GXX so low. A 1v2. Kenzie to plan and on the fade. He's read like a book. Okay, 12. Wow, Force really are making some good leeway early into this one. Not only with a, competitive first half, but taking so many rounds in the opener. The 3-0 conversion has come in, and it does just feel quite daunting. The 9-6 into a 3-0 opener, you're staring into that abyss of 12-6.
Apparently Forsen only do things by 3s here. You can see the patches of the rounds.
The rule of thirds, a new definition.
Well, let's see. Can it stick true to form? Can the Eagles pick one up right here, right now? They're into the buys. This is where the CT side actually can do its best work. GXX on the AWP. Got the big green back out in force. Wants to take an aggressive line right here, and won't overstay his welcome.
Oh, well-placed bullets. Norvi is cut down. Synopsy gets one back in the opening department and takes down the hardest hitter.
Must feel like a really big scalp to take out early as well. It's not that the others are slouchers, it's just that Norvi's on a bit of a heater right here, so up they come.
GXX, remember that guy? He's the Forsen build.
Off the bulk, Shalfie quick through the smoke. Oh, GXX's back is turned and they're going to have their knives out. He's quick about this. GXX saves everything. Problem solved. Rigon down, long threatened. It's Flatro with one on his plate. Another arrived in Kenzie and still able to get that frag. Bomb will go down uncontested. GXX unable to provide a nice smoke to enable his teammate to set up. 2-on-3. And Synopsy makes it even harder. Kenzie low HP. Pit, graveyard, priorities.
24 HP.
They'll have to push in unison here.
He's fucked in the ass.
Bomb, about half gone. Synopsy's got the low HP, likely going to be looking for the info. Info worth its weight in gold, and there we go. Graveyard, they scream. GXX quick on the draw, and BNE will post their first defensive round.
Yeah, as the second side ticked past, starting a little bit worried about that lack of kit as far as this diffuser's coming on through, but
in my professional
no
opinion,
dramas right there. Getting that bomb down, should see just in the range of a buy here for Forsen. They can get 3 players into AKs. Jerry and Zorti will be lighter on, so they know that the money right now of the Eagles is still a little bit on edge because of the amount of kills they were able to get in that round. So we do see them buy on in. Deagle for Zorti, Jerry into a Tech 9 AKs for the other 3.
Me and the guy.
Let's get the final marching orders before shooting on out of spawn here. And you can see it is still a little bit brittle for the Eagles. GXX only has a smoke to his name. Flatro short on some utility as well right here. So still a chance for Force to get this one done pretty quickly.
Flatro and GXX are responsible here with Rigon in apps for this test from Shalfie and co.
They have taken Boiler and Hall's control very quickly here. That's going to apply so much pressure top mid.
He even jumped to stop for that ratty angle. Shalfi's fundamentals, look at this.
That's
Smoked
a pretty good
off
angle.
And respecting.
That's a pretty good angle. I learned.
This is lining up. You can see the positioning of Jerry. He only has one flash. Zorti just wants to have a little confirmation that there's no funny business early banana. Still 60 seconds, but it does seem quite open and debatable as to where the final commitment will come.
Oh, he's going around the world here. I don't know. Maybe Zorti saw something he liked in banana with that smoke. You could see that it was half wall. So that's lured them back in towards banana right now. And BNE, they do have a 3-man stack over towards the B site, even though Fatro is quite removed over towards spawn. But this is where the lion's share of their forces are. But they're in the dark right now. They have no information. They don't know if top mid's given up. They don't know what lies in banana.
This is the trap. A single flash, but if utilized correctly.
Oh. It's early.
It's way too early. Way too early. And now Synopsy's caught one of their own. Fours, heavy favorites into the cross of the site. They're across completely unscathed. A boost could do everything here. Norby down, bomb denied, no, planted. But still the bodies drop like flies. Fours full, Flatro with 2. Kenzie up and over. Still going to be hard to break this site. 3 potent individuals with the bomb ticking in their favor. And the kits are present. Kenzie needs 1 here. Shadow does enable it. Shalfi, Sorty, it's all 4s. 3 versus 5, and there's nothing to celebrate for the Eagles. 4s have found themselves 13 and in dire situation.
And that money situation for the Eagles as well. The fact that it's this round that they lose, not able to hold on after 2. And GXX needs to get on out of dodge. He's going to lose the AWP. They're going to lose it all. And that is a massive round for Force to win. Losing 2 players, getting that bomb down, but they get the bomb down regardless and able to lock it through into 3-on-5. Beautiful start.
This was a 3-man beat setup.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 1 flash. Admittedly, we know utility is an important element of the defense, but that one's going to sting.
And this is the thing right now. It puts them in such an odd spot. Like, if they do take a save, they can buy into the next hit, but they'll be conceding, giving over the 14th round to 4s, so they probably want to stay a little bit threatening, a couple of pistol upgrades. They are taking a timeout to discuss things through. It's their first timeout, so their first chance to have a bit of a breather here. A light snack, bit of energy required.
Blood sugar.
Yeah, second series of the day, or second best of one anyway. Since we mentioned that Norby might be chasing down 30, he hasn't got another kill. Still on 28.
Yeah, I think they had the same conversation as us.
Can we stop giving this guy boatloads of frags, please? Oh, hold up a second. Synopsis actually bought into an M4 here. So we are getting a aggressive purchase. I'm interested to see if it follows suit with the rest. A 5-7, a Deagle. They haven't gone all in. Synopsis has, the rest light.
Okay, well, let's see what his intentions are. Is it an aggressive coin toss?
They boosted him on the roof. It looks like over to, oh, he's under the roof. Okay, so he needs to find multiple kills here with a Hero M4 if they want to win a round like this.
But they've just been reinforced. I mean, by they, I mean 4s, that the B site's breakable. And now they know there's even less of a defense. Woof! I say that. Rigon changes our mind and knocks Jerry's out of his skull. GXX still there on the pillar with nothing. The Deagle, can it do it again? Rigon is no slouch. 2 from the Deagle, he's not done. Flash me through, boys. I'm going in. Shalfi on pool. Blind and uncommitted is Rigon up and over. They find nothing. Shalfi Zort good. But now GXX peeking on out with the USP gets nothing done with it. Shalfi and Kenzie should be set. And it's soon perhaps matched. This T-side is very quick.
Way closer than the casters made
you
it seem.
You see Jerry laughing there with a big smile on his face. You can understand why. If your teammate's going to keep bailing you out of these situations where you're losing multiple kills on the way in, I know it was just against pistols, but that's still so sketchy. That is still such a sketchy situation to find yourself in. And the rifle just goes down over to a shot without being able to get anything done. So now in this round, Synopsy, who bought in with the rifle, didn't even get to play the round with it. Has to go into an MP9. Backs against the wall right now. Fours, they can smell 15 rounds. Bit of a misthrow there, sticky. Sticky Molotov in the hands, not being deployed exactly where they want it, so lobbing an extra one forward here. Tiny space, but mid right now, and that is the perfect play. Only 2 players over towards pit to deal with currently.
Quick and very precise. Norvi 29 knocks the head off of Rigon. Nothing from him. Flatro, however, ready and waiting. Zorti should, but Norvi's better. What a bodyguarding that was. He was about to take him down, and already they completely rescind back to B.
But Xiaofi knows it already. He's already pushed through. Like, they're not going to be ready for him so quick. Xiaofi can actually aggressively hunt this one down and give the information over to his team. So worried about them in B. Wait, are they going to try and... Surely not. I was going to say, they're going to try and reroute and come up in here and go for this. It would be giving everything away right here. You can see Synopsy, he's hanging around a little bit closer. He wants to see if he can get himself an upgrade into an AK-47. Maybe do a little bit of damage here, but this is 15. Forge just 1 round away right now from throwing themselves in that 2-0 column. Well, there's the AK. Norvi down. Yeah, Ents versus Outsiders coming up next, and then Astralis taking on Vitality.
Like
so the winners of those games will be joining G2, and assuming it continues in this direction, Force in that 2-0 column for the 2-0 matches tomorrow.
Right. And with this one, I mean, you know, a 16-9 win against Renegade.
Just to clarify the format of the major,
you don't know how much
you're watching the challenger stage where the teams play Swiss system for it to advance to the legends stage where then 16 teams also play a Swiss system again to reach the playoffs. It's a 2-week tourney. Why 10?
Something to be celebrated on an individual level, and I'm sure on a team level as well, if they can post the 16th here.
It has been going on way
8
longer
required
than that.
from the Eagles. It would start here now. Synopsy does nothing. Zorti already takes down his rival. And it does seem like the beginning of the end here on Inferno. Fours looking to go 2-0. All green, all gravy. Best of 3s locked in for them.
Such a strong showing so far here. Just need to get past Flatro. He's the only one top mid. He spotted a barrel, but cops a bullet. Jerry turns out his lights and says goodnight to this map.
The main turn
2-on-5 situation, both on the wrong side, both now having to rotate all the way around. Crossing the T's, dotting the I's, clearing all their corners, not taking any chances. Fours are looking clinical right now.
Yeah, they really have just completely stopped the Eagles from what started as a very much, you know, an even blow, just trading punch for punch. Second half, though, it's all Fours. Jerry takes matters into his own hands and finishes with flourish. 16-7, that's convincing. Yet to see the boys from Force concede more than 10 rounds.
I guess we have to just sing the praises of Norvi here. What a fantastic first half. He had 25 kills, 9 multi-kill rounds, and absolute beast mode from him, setting his team up for a T-side run at home. So great stuff here from Force.
Norvi with a cheeky little silence there. I think he's definitely had fun up against the bad news Eagles. So that's a sobering one for them, and of course incredibly exciting for Fours. Now, like when you are coming in as a debatable underdog, you've got the 2-0. Now it's just a question of one of these, admittedly, going to be very tough opponents in the 2-0s.
And the best of 3s.
Yeah.
Gets a little bit harder from here on out, but we move forward and we have the panel with Freya ready to break this one on down.
What's wrong with best of 3s?
A dicey first half, but a solid T-side sees Fours closing this one out. No 2-0 dream for the Eagles. We will see them live to fight at least another few more days in that 1-1.
They are hard.
Man, that second half from Fours, that was pure confidence, Jacob.
Yeah, they were by far the better team in this matchup, right? Starting from the first half, we kind of described it here on the disc. It was going to be one of those games that would go back and forth. It would be a little bit scrappy, and I think we saw that in pretty much all the rounds. You know, whenever there was a force buy, whenever there was an eco, all rounds had an element of, I guess, excitement to them, but it turned out to be Force who were the better team over and over again. So whenever we got into those scenarios, they had a chance, B&E, of making this game competitive, but Force were just better.
Yeah, I do think B&E, they missed a couple of opportunities, especially a late eco there, where I thought they had it. I thought they really had that round. They had everything in the world, 3 overtakes, oversellers, and that shutting down because it's 1 player against 3 on the B side, I think. And, it was a little bit hard to watch there, because that could have really broken Force's momentum and really brought them back into that game.
And it is an interesting thing coming into this. We've got the Eagles, obviously, in this particular round that you've got to be highlighting, Jacob. It was very back and forth. They actually managed to win.
Yeah,
Thank you. You are far too kind.
I just love the way they played right here. You can see the playing pass right now. So they go on the contact and they shut it down. And that was a round I requested to showcase, you know, B&E being good in this area, right? Having good synergy, knowing how to play these clutches. The problem was that every single time Force were in a scenario where they had to force buy or were on an eco, they would, as you said, sometimes end up winning it or at least pressure the money so much for B&E that the following round would win that would just destroy everything for B&E. So it was one of those scenarios where I agree with you. I think if you ask the players, B&E felt that they had an opportunity and this game much closer, let alone maybe winning it, but at the end of the day, Force won
moving in, and the
round
Tech-9s do find a double
and
opener.
I guess we have to give
Forsen's
credit
trapped on the other side of this moto
pulling off
smoke,
a
so they
30
get the A kills.
Like,
even though Imperial had the read and were pulling
cancer.
bodies over, they still needed to win those first couple of fights. And that's going to seal the deal on the round. Liquid, they shouldn't have won that, right? They lose a player early on, things get pretty dire, they're forced into the A play that Imperial are fully aware of, but they get the entries fast enough that the early rotate doesn't matter.
Yeah, that side player read the pathing wrong
That's
as
not
well.
yet
Watching
fallen.
right side pillar, but they actually came wide around the back of default, so that was just a 50-50 for him, and Liquid clear it perfectly with the Tech-9 taps. 2 entries and a moto smoke on long decides it. Not often you get given around that easily, given how it started, but very nice conversion for Liquid to win an eco like that, to grab some guns as well. That's got to feel good. This is weird. Saves their money. And Imperial do the same. Will be kept on, but yeah, it has been the Fur and Bolt show, the B players right now who are putting on quite a game for us right now.
Alright, let's see where
yeah,
it goes.
it's kind of insane as well, because there's only been like 3 B plays out of Liquid, and yet still it's the B players with all the kills right now, right? 22 to 4 on Bolts and Fur. 7 and 11 on everyone else in this Imperial squad.
I'll have a big glug.
You want fries with it?
Ugh, no.
Top D.
Not in it, just like
Guy,
on the side, you know?
Okay.
Potato chips will do, Harry. Right, Liquid. Nice to win a little eco like that, but you're not going to catch Imperial with a pants down every day. Standard B start 3 going short side. Looking again for Fallen's mid-peak late. And there's no AWP to stop him. Ooh, they're running up close. Fallen goes into Boiler instead, looking for that.
Who stands here with the AWP?
Boost. He gets walk right in, freebie kill. There's even anti-flash players. Triple porch setup. See ya, says Vinny. FNX hits a headshot, blinded and falling off the top. Somehow puts up 3 in an instant for Imperial, leaving Shocks and Nitro in what should be.
They don't expect you standing there.
Backup banana
but if
for
they
Shocks.
expect you standing
no
there,
bomb.
you're
No
fucked.
plans to win this round, but if they can get it, all the more credit.
Shocks is cleaned up, and I mean Nitro's just playing for damage at this point, right? Out with a swing, has dealt with Vinny, was ready for a re-peek.
Minus 50.
However, the longer he takes here, the more banana control's getting taken away, the more room is being stripped away from him, and quite soon he's left with this little sliver over in top middle to try and do damage. Both players down bottom. Banana just holding this angle. Nitro's dead as he walks the cross back.
50.
And Fur still 1 death to his name at 14-1. He's having a field day right now. Imperial are up 6-3, and there's a bit of a money problem right now for Team Liquid. Naf's coming with a gun, but that's because he had the cash to do so. OC can put a bit of armor behind a pistol, but this is like a hero investment. You've got 1 gun in play and a collection of upgraded pistols around it.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nitro expects that much respect coming from the B players who know exactly where he's positioned. Naf is going to try and use his gun quick up B. No smoke, no mollies, no need for Liquid. They line up, but Fur will hit the shots, and Bolt helps with the kill. So Imperial get rid of that gun, and they dump over the top of the half wall. Nitro gone as well. That gun's pretty irretrievable. Bolt's trying to make it so. Doesn't want to die just to stop a pickup, but instead it'll be Fallen tasked with holding down the angle, and this should be a freebie for him as well, unless OC has long fingers. He does, grabs it, but Fallen now knows and hits a tag. Down to 10 for OC, and no more free kills coming through. Lige takes the AK, but he doesn't even have armor, so this round's still pretty cooked for Liquid. Not an eco, they'll be converted this time. Fallen still keeping B in consideration.
They're grouping for another one of these B hits, but man, like as has often been the case, Imperial, you know, just kind of one step ahead, and I don't even think you need Fallen here to get the site locked in. Being real, he's just like a nice little bonus to have. Smoked up in CT, the orb's nothing more than like a scary noise, but the USP will seal the deal. And so Imperial clean that one up. It never even gets worrying. The hero AK gets nothing done. And they're now up on a 7. Another pause out of Team Liquid.
Yeah.
They are starting to feel the pressure.
I like that pace change for Naf just to test what he can get away with, right? Really quick at B. I don't know if he wanted to commit to that fight up top B, but he was mollied out at car, so he kind of had to go for it. Played right into Imperial's hands. But it shows how even when they're not taking Banana, when they don't have 3 there and the AWP getting flashed
this
in, they
roster
can
has
still hold on
changed
easily
quite
enough.
a bit, has it not?
Followed up with a nade stack. So protocols in place for Imperial, and again, it kind of leans into what I was saying pre-map. Like, I'm kind of surprised that Liquid would want to play Imperial on their best map in a BO1, even if Liquid like it as well. But that's the fear of Dust too, I guess. No one feels safe there in a BO1, except CIS teams, but I couldn't explain that to you. OC's got his AWP, first time here on the T side, and he's got big boots to fill.
Yeah, I think he's going to struggle to find a lot of impact with it though, right? Like, because Imperial, it's like a yin and yang situation between these A and B bomb sites. Like, B has a lot of freedom to be hyper-aggressive, to take these early fights, to vie for banana control, whereas A is like super safe, super regimented. So, as a result, like OC, he's going to have to bring the fight to these A players. They're not going to go peeking into him. He's got to be the one taking these wide swings and creating that space if he wants to get value out of the AWP.
Show the AWP peek.
Falling over here on short. Could get a clash of the AWPs right away.
Yeah, but he doesn't want that. He's given it up. This was a triple porch side setup again for Imperial, and right as their util runs out in middle, they just give it up. They go back into another safe setup. They force Liquid to either go into this, you know, unstoppable B force or explode into the A stack. Fallen will fall to OC. He wins his AWP battle, and they almost committed into bolts, but he hears the rotate out, and he can flank this A commit.
Yeah, he now knows, right? These A guys are going to be nice. They're going to be ready. They're going to be switched on. They know the play's coming in. And he's taking a safe rotation. This means these guys in A have got to hold the line. Vinny having a very quiet game right now. Him and FNX need to hold on. Need to buy time for bolts to move in. And they will get a kill apiece. The bomb now moving in through the apartments. Oh, OC up on the short side. The ball is flashed off the angle with Naf dead. This AWP has got a combat AWP, and it's a nice shot for the first. But he's traded immediately after. Just too many targets, too little time. And it's Imperial racking up the round count even further.
God, that was a massive round for Liquid as well. Hitting both bomb sites at the same time. OC even found that opener. He even picked Fallen. I don't know how he got away with it. With Fallen like posted on short side after Imperial pulled back, but trades at B were good. And I almost like that Bolts doesn't flank there, even though he knows he can. He doesn't want to offer Liquid up away back in. If he safe rotates, you know, he knows by the time he gets to library, either they've already committed or he knows he shouldn't have rotated and he can go back to B. Flanking and running it can offer up, you know, kills to players waiting in mid.
We get now word that a washed-up streamer is watching this tournament with a similar name. Not much information at this time, but we keep you updated. Wait.
And far more passive for Imperial,
yes,
not offering up
yes.
picks,
I just been informed that all we know about him is that he lost 11 hands in a row.
Fight back.
Better than 11 rounds
just looking
in a
like
row.
One of these pump and dumps in towards A, although they might try to B-wrap. Yes, with the smoke down, they try to bypass the library AWP. However, Fur's already here. Only one kill. Nitro's going to tap him out. So
that's a win.
You're the guy now responsible for B, and you've got to do it alone. Takes this long-range fight and lines up a double. That's the bomb cut loose. Bolts has already done enough. Anything else is just icing on the cake at this point. With the bomb out in an island, out on CT alone. You'd like to think that Bolts has pretty much safeguarded this round. The insurance policy here might have gotten dinked on that swing, but he's just wasting time. He's not overextending. They've had to take a hell of a lot of time off the clock to go and deal with him. Now the rest of Imperial can just play around this bomb. If they can stay alive for 20 seconds and not allow this bomb to get retrieved, they win the round.
hell do you get back in here? Fallen double scope
Oh,
close.
shit,
They peek him over the top of the pool. Shox gets 2. Nat follows up, and with 11 health remaining, Liquid steal the round from the palm of Imperial's hand. The double scope. It lets Fallen down.
Liquid.
He got peeked up and over. And I don't know how Imperial dropped the ball there. That was their round to play. Liquid, the last 2 rounds they've won, Harry, have been half buys, have been Tech 9 taps. That's a sick round to win. A 2-on-4 with no ball, with only the sight. And they win it in gunfights. Despicable for Liquid.
Oh, that was definitely a chance. OC not going to get many of them.
Stop buying up.
There's already a guy pushed aggro down towards logs. You've lost Banana. It might just force you to go for an immediate reaction into this A site, right? Try break it apart
Stop
again.
buying up.
Fallen flash, they are up and past that molly, but oh, he didn't shoot. If he did, that could have been everything. Vinny, oh, no. That was the chance, but he's only good for one. FNX can't fill the void. And so Liquid, they run down this A site. They come in with another round. Now starting to piece together a T-half after all. They've broken the money of Imperial. They've broken this A-bomb site again.
Oh, that's a round that's prefaced by like, guys, why are we respecting them? We're better. Like, why, you know, why bother? Let's just run them down. And what a perfect round out of Liquid. Definitely some balls dropped there for Imperial, right? Not firing the AWP, quick switching instead. Vinny, they had no idea. They were never going to check it. If he held that shot till the flash expired, he could have won the round with 3 kills right there, but just shoots too soon. And 1-for-1 is not enough when you get run down like that. Liquid, I love the pace change. It's exactly what they needed to catch Imperial by surprise. And suddenly we're looking at what could be a 7-round half by the end of things.
He thought that they
Savers
only
again, big for Imperial.
Going
We've
out
had
with
quick
the flash,
A plays.
And then he
Therabolts have gotten away with these guns, but
that doesn't make sense.
It's very clear Liquid know who are the problem pieces, which is the problem site, and they're doing their best to avoid it. It's do or die now for Imperial. Win this round, or we are looking at that split half where, you know, it may have started pretty dire
head
for
enough
Liquid,
to understand. I am the biggest 5-head out of all of us, alright? But that doesn't mean that an off angle...
Poke.
Swapping an off angle when you already flashed. And you have AWP. Sure, you can get 1 kill with that off angle, but you're still gonna get killed if you go to the left there.
He knows that greed is one of the sins, so he doesn't go swinging out down middle.
It's like, at best you get 1 kill. 1 for 1.
What are the others?
Still a weird decision.
I plead the fifth. Vinny holding the long side on this one. A's kind of been the problem area for Imperial. You know, it's been hard to fold the B holds, really. They've gotten away with a lot. They've often saved the day.
Slightly above flower pot.
See a little bit more. Someone like Fallen with this AWP, who this time's posted it short. Doesn't want to get caught over-aggressing again, because OC's on the angle. This was how he opened up with the AWP last time. Fallen will respect it. Liquid, they start to leave middle. They start to group over at Banana, looking for this B play. And Imperial, because they're feeling the pressure, because they're worried about this A site, they've sent Fur up and away. Liquid don't respect that smoke. They go running through it, and now they're inside the B site. 1 kill could be enough to set Imperial up to retake, right? And just play the numbers game. Might end up in a weird little 5v5 kind of motion.
Liquid lost for the plant. They will get it down at least. Imperial
this is a bit of a cooked
to give it up, but they might have to with these players so far away.
Yeah, good luck.
No one's even giving up an inch. This is going to be it. Like we said, it was do or die. It was play for this or, you know, eco the next. And Imperial don't like those odds. They'll give it up. They'll give Liquid a 6th, but they will at least allow a rebuy. A very awkward round to just completely concede, especially considering how solid these B players have been. But locked out of the bomb site, Liquid,
definitely
ballsy cool. But it pays off just well enough.
It was Fallen's decision. I'm not retaking with up, man.
Round is back, baby.
Yeah, 10 alive.
We save. We save. Save the up.
Have we had any so far? I don't think we have.
I haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah. So there we go. Unicorn round. We all love them.
It's Inferno all over, man. 5v5 alive. And now we go back in with another
and so on the mainstream.
Yeah, you know, I mean, dude, so much of that boils down to, I think it was Naf lurking over in the apartments. He just like lobbed a late flash out to give the illusion that he would try to go for like another one of these apps pops.
Oh, it could have been Mirage.
That's nice.
That is nice, you know, but that's one of the maps where I feel like Outsiders are strong. Kinder, A-Ramp, Vertigo, you know, that's just his playground. I believe he said in an interview once that is the map, this CT side in the entire game. He likes playing the absolute.
That and Banana, that's his two positions. And he's proven to be deadly time and time again.
Yes.
So this is going to be the best map to see the contrast of these play styles, because like full rushing, aiming down A ramp, and this more slow, methodical Outsiders retaking A ramp, and see that kind of clash happen.
It is kind of fun we say it, right? Because when you think of it top of your mind, you think of Outsiders to be a world-class team on Vertigo, and they are, but as of recently, the past 3 months, they've played it 5 times and only won once. They've lost 4 in a row as well. Lost to Sprout recently at the Pro League, and lost to Furia 16-7, lost to Heroic, lost to NIP. So they used to be super, super strong on the map, and I think that's why ENCE have allowed it to go to Vertigo as well. I don't think they're showing too much respect right now. I think that ENCE and the boys, the Snappy Camp right now, feel that they are the better team. So allowing Vertigo in this matchup is a sign of confidence to me.
You're talking about hoping that Outsiders can close this one out in a more clean fashion. We haven't seen thus far. It has only been one best-of-1 series. What do you think needs to happen for them to kind of change that narrative around the team and for them to get that close?
I mean, against a team like ENCE, I'm not really sure. I hope for them to close out the game in a more convincing fashion. I think for them, it's just all about winning. If they can win 16-14 in this scenario, that would be a great victory, because they are going up against ENCE, who right now, at least in my book, is one of the Outsiders to go into the playoff at the major. Whereas for Outsiders, as of recently, it's been very much up and down.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly hard to just... I mean, it's easy to diagnose the issue, but it's very, very difficult once you get to the server and when you start thinking about these things to actually break it down and see what causes this, right? Because it can be mental, it can be maybe the in-game leader 100%. Wants to play it a little bit safer, and that kind of brings you to that point where they can gnaw back and you're not putting the same amount of pressure in the like you did in the earlier rounds to actually win them. So there's a lot of factors that can cause this problem, and it's very easy for us on the desk to say this needs to be fixed, but I think that's what's going to bring them the most success if they manage to focus on that and figure it out.
Yeah, it is a tough question indeed. Hopefully it is time to get some answers. We're going to jump on into Vertigo.
Yeah, already a bit of an eyebrow raiser. Vertigo being the map, Chad. We weren't, you know, we were flirting around with the map veto over in the green room, and Vertigo wasn't at the tip of the tongue.
No, I was thinking something like maybe an overpass with Dust 2, maybe Mirage could have snuck on in here. But to get it to Vertigo, it kind of feels like, okay, as Jacob pointed out, Outsiders haven't been great, so you're going to leave it through. Are you confident? Do you want to play it even though it's not going well? ENCE attempting you in. And ENCE, like, historically, it hasn't been a great map for them. It's been something that they've been working on in more recent times, and you've been seeing some better and better results out of them on that map. So they must be feeling confident. I think they've won the last 2 on the trot here. And they're one of those games against Copenhagen Flames, who aren't really a slouch on a map like Vertigo either. So excited to get Vertigo underway. The problem I see in this one is Outsiders starting on the T side. And you hear Jacob talk about your Kinder on the CT side locking down A ramp. That's great. But on the T side, it's more traditionally Jame and Kickit heading down there. And if they get slowed and shut down, we all know how slow Jame is. Kinder and Flair working mid a little bit more. Then we have Buster, who's just a nuisance over towards B. So that's what we can expect out of this T side.
Yeah, and talking T side and talking your Kinder, it tends, from my eye test and from the many games we've seen of Outsiders Vertigo, he is feast or famine on T side.
Yeah.
I have seen many a game where your Kinder is stubborn as a mule trying to get those ramp frags through these fading smokes, through the pop flashes, up short, swinging ramp. He's got it in him, and it will either be a beautiful banquet of frags, or it will just be a poverty-stricken entry fragger.
I think that one of these things with this team, right, it's got that dead team right now, but I don't
Your title says official company stream. Does that mean that you're playing 2 streams at the same time is intentional? Or does that mean that you are so fucking deaf that you can't even hear the double audio? Please clarify.
When you see them playing that that slower, more like stunted style where James saving the AWP every second round, that's when I start to lose a bit of confidence here. And they already had an iffy game earlier today, a 16-14 win over Imperial, but it became very close, that one.
My two ones to watch are both on screen. Hades for one reason and Spinks for a very different reason. Hades, it's still a question of proving to himself that he can do it in the big leagues. Got to show us all and show himself coming in at this. This is the perfect time now. It's best of ones. It's the opening stage of the tournament. It is a major. This is where you just have a pop-off with that AWAP and we get to see what you can do, because we know he's absolutely ridiculous with his signature weapon, with this Ents roster, but yet to see him translate that to LAN directly. Spinks, on the other hand, gets his LAN buff. None of that 80 ping nonsense. He's rocking and body bagging with that 5 MS, 0 MS on a good day. And so let's go, Vertigo, for us to treat ourselves to. You can see they're making a bit of a bait here. Yakinda makes noise, no one else does. You hear one towards A, and Yakinda's going to be perhaps isolated here. They can swing on it, and that's what they do. Diha, dualies, does dunk one. Hades has support of Snappy. Careful with that peek. He's considering a re-peek off the flash and does send them back down the ramp. Hades puts Kick It in the ground. And it is just, this might be a whole round determined by just jewels on this ramp. Yakinda does get a long-range Glock at a price. 95 damage dealt to him, and it's a 3v2, but they are, I mean, fully known to be committed ramp. I don't think James necessarily has been spotted in the same capacity, but you can see the setup. Like, Madden's just going to float back CT, 2 here to receive the A commit, and it's James smoke molly.
If they can get a plant out of this, it'd be great. I don't know if James is going to want to burn this Molotov over towards the sandbag position now, and Snappy's actually going to come for the clear on through. One back turn, the USP shots go awry, and Snappy needs to get on out of dodge here. Does get the kill, does recover. Crisis averted, all good in the hood, as Yakinda, 5 HP, and what was a 1v3, has found the first.
So you saw the bomb short, Snappy's frag, put it on the floor. And he just has no health. I mean, Spinks and Madden as well, the two sharpest tools in the end shed. Fakes the noise, doesn't have time. And that bomb plant you were talking about, I think it's a pipe dream at this point. He knows he needs a frag before he can even consider that. He will just be run down by the both of them. 10 seconds, and here he goes. Oh.
No!
Oh, very close to getting the extra cash, but Ents take the pistol in this best of one.
Yeah, and Spinks, this man on your screen right here, the man who got the final kill. He has just had these games where he just drops 30, like, casually. He's just dropping bombs. Like, he is honestly just... I cannot speak highly enough of how he's been playing.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's seemingly come from nowhere, but now it's almost like I'm expecting him to drop 30 every game. He's just persistent and consistent.
What's so impressive is, you know, he stood out through his own ability in a very limited field.
Yes.
You know, like, you have to work very hard to stand out in Counter-Strike as an individual, and he did so and continues to. He's even pre-aiming the run boost. This dude is cracked as he is jacked. Let's see what happens in round 2. Outsiders, they've done a nice pretty pattern.
I still don't understand the run boost.
Did he write Adren?
Adren.
Former teammate.
Oh, shouting out those that are no longer with us in the
I think that he's streaming the game right now.
Oh,
it's time to play Black Flag.
There you go.
I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah. I saw the end, that was all I had.
Really?
And Diha's going to go and inspect the artwork as well. Heads to the gallery. Buster, the artist. Snappy, the dead man. Oof. You shouldn't really see anyone else go down. I think the Buster frag is more than enough of a bonus. And there you have it. Madden confirms it. Well handled by Ents. They will take that 2-0 conversion, but that's with the bomb plant. Or, well, it wasn't a bomb plant, do excuse me. Very close to it. It's going to be a little bit of a lighter first buy round.
Yeah, so this is them getting into the AKs here. So they've gone for the full save in the second. The AK's coming out into the third. And yeah, it's not going to be any AWP hijinks here. Whereas right now, Spinks has the AWP on his back. So is this going to be a spawn play from Spinks? Maybe not so much. He's taking the AWP over towards middle here. So this is going to be quite curious. Spinks aggressively AWPing middle on the first gun round. Going to post himself up to deal with any of these ladder room plays. Now, I was talking about the default a little bit earlier of how outsiders like to approach this. They like to wait out a lot of the utility. They normally have Jamie and Kick It down there dealing with any of that. Yakinda, from time to time, will like to help out Flit when they go for the mid control. And maybe this is why you see Spinks posted up in this position because they do like to come at mid through the ladder room. So giving himself an angle to work with there. Hades with some util to get a bit of a forward position, and we're not putting too much pressure on B early as old Buster.
3 grenades.
Bit of a meeting going on there down in the lower side of things, so no real direction within the first 55 seconds of play. And now back over towards A. A well-placed flash to flush them deeper, and Yakinda will swing. Ooh, spotted there on the jump.
What middle left
more than capable of
what are you talking about?
Making a connection like that. Hades wise not to re-peek. Madden with a re-smoke. That will enable Snappy to go walkabout. And Yakinda has opened the account. Snappy does keep things level. An important return. Takes out Flit. Flash from Madden. He is trying to make it clear that there's plenty more where that came from. Oh, he nearly gets the frag. Doesn't finish his food. Yakinda lives on at 1 HP. And Madden now, with the support of that Sphinx Orb, it's going to be very hard for him to find contributions with it. Big find. Madden takes Kick It out of the equation. This boost might be a little late now. Madden, head on a swivel, could be caught out, and is Yakinda with a low HP, and now with just a second to spare. Classic outsiders. James on that default box and posted up. They will get the frag, and 1 HP. Yakinda's down, and the round goes Ence's way. Whew, I thought outsiders had pulled it off again.
Yeah, I thought with Madden still alive in that position so long, he did a lot of work right there. He did go down in the end, but he could have absolutely denied that plan. So a well put together round.
You never want to go the other bomb side.
A bit of a nuisance right there with the MP9, pushing through smokes, making sure that he was accounted for. But that's the slow style and what we've come to expect from outsiders here, milking every second out of that clock. They do get the bomb down. They will be able to get another buy very similar to what you've just seen. So they could go for AKs again. But some Tech 9s in the feed right here is telling of something a little bit different. That was an important kill for Snappy to get right there because Hades had gone down, right? So actually an important one to make right there. And fast towards middle.
Oh, yeah, man, really quick. Flip.
Value.
The four up front of the pack and already forcing Madden off the line. There is so much space now and not a single body dropped. If those Tech 9s can now group up and hit something together, it gets sketchy.
This might become their coffin though. They used a lot, well, whatever util they brought in just to get this mid control, and they have the space, but you can see how it's responded to, and they didn't have any lurks elsewhere to grab space once this rotation has come on in. So now Ents can grab this territory back, be methodical about it, do it as a team, and punish any boost like that. Flit does take down Diha.
Yeah, that's a big frag to find and a big scalp. Highest fragger and flyer for Ents down early. Re-clearing. Yeah, this could work in Spinks' favor. It's not going to be...
He's going to get it. Why are you...
Contact. But relocating. Nothing to report in mid.
It's just they don't have any utility here, so I don't know how you bolster your way into a bomb site. It is going to have to be off trades here. Unless they can catch a player sleeping.
Oh, Flip does fall. The AK retrievable. Yakinda now to ply his trade with the only rifle in play.
Oh, they're gambling A very heavy right now. Bit of a gap created here.
Yeah, B is so accessible. I think Madden's there to try and fill that void quickly. And Jame and Buster are going to come and knock in.
Look how far forward Yakinda is off the top of this boost too.
Oh man, this rotate's going to be really tough, and Spinks has missed it. Does it? The second Yakinda with the response, and now Madden's got so much to do. Yakinda is his next victim. Huge from Madden. Jame does manage to get that bomb, surely threatening. 10 seconds. If he could just get Snappy, that bomb plant, perhaps not impossible. Hades up against him. Leaps, charging, headshot not available, and we will see Ents continue their spree of rounds. 4 now for them, Chadney, and it could very well be a 5th. They've been banking their cash. We get to see Jame now back on his AWP.
Yeah, they'd love to be able to get the bomb down again here, right, just to keep that cash flowing on through. Obviously, max loss bonus is in play right now.
Into
the fact that they are getting blanked in that department is starting to sting a little bit.
I know, he only had... Yeah, I know he had 4 seconds.
As they could. They did get it down to a one-on-one situation. So that's great to keep modest finances for Ents. Outsiders have kept Ents in a bit of a breaking point right here. They just need to
rush out.
Lob one round on the board. Aggressive play across from Diha. Does have the oversight of Spinks.
Oh, it's
unless the other guy is
time in the sunshine here. Trying to worm around the ramp smokes. Madden short side, Snappy. Actually activates upon the incendiary short and just swings on out with nothing to report.
This is the util game, right? So both teams kind of
It is a 50-50,
each other back and forth, and
but
right now the fourth is for ENCE.
the upside
have secured the ramp control, can call it completely
huge.
clear, and are looking for as much damage as they can down and towards the forklift room with some spam, but
even if he doesn't pop out,
very, very careful here. James AWP,
and you
it's
don't
quick.
plant and you lose the round,
Cannot connect.
you save the weapon at least.
Still smoke for Hades here. He's lining something up deep towards the ramp. Scuttles that one off the top, but they're going to be ahead of it.
Yeah, Hades is actually going to have a face full of lead here. Yakinda, the one to provide it. Snappy strikes in unison with Madden, and a lovely outcome for ENCE. As you can see, James actually falls by the wayside. Snappy persisted in the taps. It's Flit and Buster then to try and piece this together for the first of outsiders, really, and things shaping up nicely. A 2-on-2. High stakes, the smokes do get deployed. It will enable pretty much safe passage to the site, one would assume. Diha and Spinks. They're both here. Very high octane game of Wingman, and the double nades down to Diha.
That was a 6 spot.
Buster's bodyguarding and solving the mystery. A big frag to post and a first round found.
This is the way that outsiders work best, right? They just keep you low on players, low on money, low on finances, and then they win one round. Now you're broke. Now you have a choice. Do we force buy, or do we decide that we want to take a bit of an eco of our own? But the force buy option for ENCE here with the 1400 loss bonus. Here's the poison they picked. Some Deagle, some Util. It's going to be very light on here to contest. And this is a chance right now for outsiders to start closing the gap, to start clawing this one back into a pretty even game. Lurk smoke thrown towards B from Buster, and they can take their time, try and understand what the buy looks like, if there's any stacks on the other side, and especially just wait out this C2 Util because they're a little bit lighter on in that regard. They're not going to be as confident to go for the same fights. They can't spam on through the smokes with the Deagles the same way they can with the silenced M4s.
Yeah, it's perfect for my playstyle.
Snappy's the one
to go B on this map because I don't buy any
up in the grill.
Grenades and Molotovs.
There is a line drawn in the sand by outsiders. They are happy to just concede
one smoke, one
all of those aggressive ramp maneuvers and clear it as a pack when they see fit.
You'd have to hit some bangers, right? This is not going to be easy. And one of the problems is on the CT side, if you just play back in the site and they execute, you're not going to be able to do anything whatsoever. You're hoping for a smoke push. So that is a little bit later on the deployment right there onto Scaff. That will force them up one avenue of assault, but Hades has to be careful here.
That was his chance, and a perfect execution.
That was a really good flash.
Testament to the power of the flash. He gets 3 body shots to resolve it. Counter-Strike. Newest change.
Still a couple of issues here because maybe not if Snappy got that one. Kick it solves the mystery. Madden now chiming on in.
Yeah, and he gets away. That is big. Kick it. You can see how much that's frustrated him. He just continues to wide swing into the site, gets another head-to-head. Madden alive, tagging just through the corner of the box. Spinks up against Buster just as he looks away. Buster will succeed, and now Diha up the creek, no paddle. A Kevlar vest and a Desert Eagle is not going to get him far. And outsiders starting to get their T-half started, and knowing that they're up against Deegs, knowing there was Kevlar involved, they can operate under the assumption that they're going up against bare-bones by next.
Anymore. They know that it's like in between 15 to 30
but we did see earlier in the day, remember when they had the B-rush on Dust 2 against G2 and they had that stack going on? It's hard to pull those type of maneuvers off, and it did require an eco 1v2 to get it confirmed.
But your power rankings for this first stage of competition, are ENCE in the top 3?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
right? They'd have to be, right? Considering their recent form. I think that there's some big names in the Challenger stage here, but the form of Vitality wasn't known coming into this G2. It looked a little bit shaky in recent times. ENCE have been the team who have been going from strength to strength, it feels like. Outsiders also in a bit of a messy spot.
That is a spot.
And Diha, by hiding his model, has the element of surprise and does. 2 successive blows to the head of James, taps away, and the bomb is going to be overrun, defended perfectly by Flit. And just 2 more USPs to get through. They are making it very threatening, aren't they? There's 2 members, Yakinda and Flit, both down to 20. That is 1 USP bullet to the dome.
Please throw the smoke before I mold.
But from behind, Buster's taken the space and puts Madden in a horrible box. Ouch, that nade couldn't have been better. 55 now for Madden. He had full health coming into this.
I always love how outsiders don't rush situations like this as well. They just sat on their haunches. They could have gone for fights against those USPs, but making sure they don't give anything over just there. So they will secure their 3rd round. Just a 1-round game right now, and no Hades or Spinks AWP possible here. It is going to be lighter in that department. And will a defuse kit come on through? That There's also a question mark right now. Snappy's invested into utility, so no kit here. So if the bomb goes on down, keep that one in the back of your mind. And when we've covered games with outsiders in the past, Buster over towards this B side of the map can be an absolute nuisance, but 2 CTs dispatched early to deal with this. A very well-placed Molotov right there. Gives Spinks few options, and forward was the best of them. Expends his smoke immediately here. He is under some threat right now. Yeah, so Buster's just being a bit of an issue.
There's no one quite like Buster for that B stairs lurk.
Same spot.
Madden in mid. He's got 2 very heavy hitters up against him. It's the Flit and Yakinda duo.
Never
and they just throw a double stack nade. So, I mean, this is clearly part of the plan, right? He wants, they want, rather, Ents to be saying 2 mid. Ooh, and as that has been said,
hold up a second.
Hades, you know where they're going to be.
It's kind of a disrespect
right on the
move
edge
to always
of
hit
where
on
this
the
line
same
was
spot
drawn.
when you think about it, right?
Careful now.
James is lining up that wallbang. So Yakinda, don't get twitchy now. And that's could be a nasty red face for James. A powerful angle. Adopted by Hades. This is a forward hold from Ents. It will mean that faking anything is going to be very hard. Nice wallbang out of Hades. Does actually half kick its health.
I don't know how it's happened, but there's 35 seconds left and they have to go B, right? There's too many corners to clear, too much to get past to go towards A, so they've regathered, retooled, and they can set up to hit this site. Dude, if he has a smoke,
if Diha drops this now, they are going to have to run through grey screen up the stairs. Oh, it's going to be tight. Buster does get through. Dia's looking the wrong way. They're already up quad. The whole squad just running into the meat grinder. Buster and James are ready to play, and now the bomb can go down. Just in time, trying to disrupt. Oh, he's maybe done it. If he can just kill Buster, he's actually going to do it 1v3. Hades is going to love that. Outsiders quite the opposite. Nearly pulling off their signature low time maneuver.
Wow. I think as you're Hades, you're coming through, you're not expecting that open plant, but the reason you'd plant like that is because you don't want to go down to some utility here. So James gone for an open plant, and Hades, he's just going to try and stop that. That's all he's aiming for in that whole situation. He gets away with 2.
And you know Buster's flustered. He's got 2 or 3 seconds to find that headshot. Hades is crouched, is hidden, is a pesky bugger, and hits it on the spray.
Welcome back. 10 rec with the 3 years.
When you cut to kick it, you still see him ladder. That his teammates are screaming, kick it mid, he's not got time.
Or 2, sir. You can get 1.
Timeout off the back of that, yeah.
It looked great. Like, you could see there, the timing of the execute. D-House, that smoke was perfectly timed, but then the utility, he was waiting for the flashes from his teammates coming on in, gets caught a little bit off guard. The trading goes back and forth. And then Hades with that push on through, like a bat out of hell, screaming on in. Well, they're not out of dodge just yet, Ents, right? It's still very, very fickle as far as the buy's going to go. You've got yourself 2 MP9s in this. It's not looking great, whereas the buy on the other side is looking real tidy. You've got Jane back into the AWP. The util's there.
So Ents very successfully have got outsiders wasting time on A, repelling them there. A different setup this time, leaning mid. Will put a lot of pressure on the shoulders of Snappy. He can't be as proactive, and hasn't been. Just confirming Scaff presence intermittently.
Yeah, he's going to go down here, I think.
Yeah, he's a dead man. Whoa, just like that, tip of the head.
Save?
He was the only 1A, and they've got MP9s for a retake.
And you can't run, because Buster's going to hear all your steps. That will help to signify that the site...
A slow motion rotate.
Yeah, like you have to walk. That's the nature of Vertigo. You don't really get a choice on the CT side unless you want to give up all that information for free. They're going to try and dissuade with utility of their own. There's a HE ready to be deployed from Hades here. But there's no rush on this plant. There's still a couple of extra smokes and Molotovs left on over. Here comes the plant. There goes the nade. Nice damage, but are you going to give this one a crack?
I'm not sure they know. And certainly not now. James connects onto one of the SMGs. Madden down, and so is the round. Outsiders looking for their 4th, and doing so without a single casualty so far. I say that as Spinks has found himself in T-spawn.
He might get 1 here, especially because Buster's... are they trying to get to
Bustin'.
Spinks? Here they are. Buster looking the wrong way, turns back in time. Hades gone, and I think Diha might want that rifle if he can.
Yeah, Spinks is going to be providing it. Maybe an AK upgrade for him. Oh, and Kick It could join. Hello! Quick react out of Spinks to even find it, but... yeah, Diha tries his luck, and does manage to take another one down. So not quite the perfect round for Outsiders, but they do take everything away from Ents. And they're down to the pits of despair.
Yeah, that sucks, right? Because Hades wins out the 1-on-3, but you could see the finances were still absolutely shocking. And that meant that they went for something a little bit more gambly. 2 mid, 2 B, expecting a different approach coming out of Outsiders. And maybe you can understand why, because the B hit work. You're thinking maybe they'll go back towards B. They just got a little bit unlucky with losing that clutch, but not to be the case. The spacing up the ramp, catching Snappy off guard ahead of the smoke. And, well, now Outsiders should be tying this one up just against these pistols. First one hits the deck. Buster cleaning up the mess over towards B right now. Hades and Spinks coming to fill the feed.
I don't think he's going to stop. He is not going to stop this killing machine walking in. Spinks, oh, they all jump in. Madden down,
much is the
Buster to add an
5-7?
ace to his repertoire if he can find the elusive Snappy.
Let him off the leash. Let him go have a little bit of a look.
500. I'm really not sure.
The orders are going to be different now.
For its price.
Look,
P250
that's a very good sign for this
5-7?
team, knowing what we know about the whole Yakinda situation and the potential future of the squad. The fact that they're even playing situations like this with pistols still by the book, bringing in Bogdan's Law, making sure that
P250, right?
they're not taking any risks. Buster having a great game of things so far, 12 kills. Kick at the next closest with 8, 7 apiece for Jame and Yakinda and Snappy. They are hunting you down, my friend. Elbow spotted, shots fired, position known, and kill found. So
I guess it depends
tying things
on
up
the round.
5-5.
If it's
Will we
pistol
see the
round,
Hades AWP come out? Well, not right now.
The
He still can't
5-7
afford
is
it. The big
better
green is going to elude Hades for yet
its
another
price.
round.
And this is CT side vertigo.
you
You
so
can
many
really
more
have
bullets.
a lot of freedoms given to you with an AWP in play.
And the only time we've seen it come out here on the CT side was when Spinks actually
like
loaded
you
over
would never
towards mid, which felt like it had
buy
quite a purpose,
you would never
going
buy
aggressive with that AWP.
P250 on pistol round.
Again, a little bit light on in
But
the
you
utility
would
department.
buy
Not everybody with
P250
incendiaries
on
over here on the
eco.
CT side.
But you would buy 5-7
Again, not a diffuse
on
kit to
pistol
work
round.
with if they find themselves into a post plant, so that there are problems. Outsiders can really post a strong T half if they do secure this round right here, right now.
A highly
You
competitive
buy
affair.
250 on the T side.
Two teams in very different stages of their life cycles, and yet still trading blow for blow as it currently stands. Jame, good for this one. Pre-aims and strikes just shy. Madden will be finding himself in mid on both halves here.
And Glock, if it's not super far away.
Currently has nothing to report.
Yeah, this is the problem, right? When you don't hear and see anything, and then they just explode, and they're all there in the last 30 seconds just trading, and someone still miraculously has the flank, and they have an extra HE and a molly.
I mean, Glock sucks.
What? We've just sat here trying to fight for all of this, and fighting for ramp control with Snappy.
And that's Diha just as he looks away. 3, fill that mid push. He's going to get caught out. Lucky to be alive, but backs are turned, and Madden nearly a triple does dink Jame. And with 30 seconds, this mid-round's about to be a commitment into B. Spinks not going to be Molotov Dart out, and so should be set for this. Buster and Kick It are here. Diha to take first contact, and yeah, Diha doesn't even need the help. A nice double. It's 2 multi-kills that determine the victor.
Yeah, Madden saving Diha to set him up for that double right there. So fortunately, his teammate combines because, yeah, Kick It getting that opening kill towards Snappy, peeking out for that information. They missed their molly in towards the B side, right? I think that was destined for the position of Spinks. If they landed that, it could have been a different looking scenario here. But Jame will look to retain the AWP. Does, and Ents will grab back just the round lead. We continue to go tit for tat here. It's still not a fantastic position for Ents to be in, and a buy is still very much possible for Outsiders here. So if they the problem is every time Ents win one of these rounds, it brings them back in the loss bonus. Right, so they're not going to get as much money when they do eventually lose another round. So if it happens again now, you're looking at the loss bonus of only 1,900 into the next, right? So they have to save. You see the situation they find themselves in, they can't be threatening.
Or at least not with a Hades AWP and all the goodies. We do get those rifles out, and 3 of them are AK-47s. A tactical pause called
Why
the
aren't
first
they doing
of the Outsiders 4.
The boost thingies?
Dustin's probably pretty happy with how things are trending so far.
The
because if they do bounce back and break serve with this round, it's almost good for 2. Right? That's kind of how it's framed in my mind with the economy at this juncture. Obviously, it depends on the amount of saves and all those other little details.
I never see it. I didn't know that you could do it even until like Someone linked me.
Buster at the top of the scoreboard. He's been
2 years
persistent
ago, or 1.5
on the B
years
lurk,
ago.
aggressive at times, of course,
I didn't
farming
know
up
you
on
could
the
do it.
anti-eco.
I never saw it ever in any pro level game.
Hades and Snappy are the A duo with Madden floating in between, and oh, they are progressing. Snappy, so blind. Madden needed that, and he gets it just about. The transfer nearly came through. Flit's still here to do damage. Takes a solid jab at Hades. And now Buster can activate mid.
Look at the massive gap he has to work with right now.
Oh, they're playing the numbers beautifully. 3 of them A ramp. Madden trying to change things, but just walks to his demise instead. And now 2. Diha at least clears the mid luck. He can sprint to Spinks.
That's what you get. We're going near
And upon
B.
the fade, the spray finds nothing. Flit 2 HP, burning, but escapes with his tail between his legs. To Diha waiting. Oh, strikes straight through the smoke. And he knows one is on the
Forsen, I noticed your title says English co-stream, but I haven't heard you speak for 30 minutes. Please clarify.
Well. Trying to reposition. Smoke and mirrors. Going to strike Spinks, expected to find him on one side. James already on the other. Spinks beats him out. AWP v AK for a must-win round. Ents will get that 2-round buffer now, but 3 kills out of Diha. A lot of impact when they needed him.
It's a clutch again right here, though, isn't it? Just one player surviving. They're going to not be able to find that. He does. He just picked up the AWP there. And this was necessary from Madden there to find that trade. Diha taking down the lurker. Buster finding this through the smoke. Maybe he heard the pin get pulled, right? Because you see the smoke get dribbled out of the hands just there.
Oh, that really worked out for them. If Flit in any way, shape or form gets to sandbags, I mean, that's probably what he's thinking as well. He knows it's a must hit, gets it. And so, 7-5, a highly competitive vertigo between these two.
And finally, we see Hades get the AWP into his hands. So let's see if he can make a difference with this over towards the A ramp. They have been under the
bounce like that
quite consistently here as smokes are in exchange.
That's
going to slow down any presence that Kicker wants to have early, just having to spend some bullets through the smoke as they are now turning their attention towards B. Might have a flash ready to set Diha up for this.
Okay, apparently not flat.
Yeah, they got this 2-man B set up and already
he's spotted.
Forced off, full blind, and look at the space. D has done it. Another double out of Diha. Called upon and delivers. Spinks there for the backup. It's Flit through mid. Madden ready. Receives with open arms, and this is where the pace really will shift. James, not allowed to save. Run down.
No.
They lose everything, Chad, and Ents already winning out the half. Diha passes the test on B.
And what felt like 2 rounds ago that it was looking very bleak and very dire for Ents now feels that way for Outsiders. They've had to expend all this cash, not getting across the line in a couple of close gun rounds here. 3 consecutive. Ents are having to do it the hard way, right? They're having to do it against buy after buy. All the util, the AWP's in play. Now it should get a little bit easier. Now they shouldn't be going up to anything as potent. You can see an AK has been dropped across here, some Deagles, some light util into the mix. It's still a bit of a problem to deal with.
Kicker's got a lot of aggression, and Snappy happy to receive it. That was the AK gone, and Yakinda down on the retrieval. Oof.
Those bullets just kept finding him no matter where he went.
Magnetic.
It's crazy, that bouncing out, that seesaw that Ents have been on, right? Those clutches that were very close, it felt like they were setting them up for a fall in future rounds. 3 of them just swarm, ready to take down these pistols. Yeah, we're not letting you get back that AK. That's ours to keep now, I think.
Yeah, I love the Musketeer setup. 1 down, 1 above. $16. They are quietly getting farmed up by Diha towards the tail end of this CT half, and Flit's Glock pokes his head out of the smoke into Snappy for a 3rd.
Nice try.
That's the thing with this Ents team, right? They slowly like collected all of these pieces of the puzzle here. And you had Madden come in and take the place of Doto, and everyone was like, well, how's this going to work? Doto was a bit more of a supportive element, but they've been able to make this work. And I think it's because these players, they're all actually quite versatile, and they're all very mechanically gifted. It's the experience that these individuals lack, right? That Snappy is the most experienced of the lot of them. The rest of them are names that have really only blasted onto our screens over, what, maybe the last couple of years.
Yeah, but I mean, throughout his entire career, Snappy's not been given 4 individuals that are this diverse and versatile.
Snap, Snappy, that's
argue with me, debate with me if you like, but this is this is a unique situation for him, and it's something that wouldn't have been possible or manifesting without his years of experience being the driving force for him taking the reins of Ents. Buster does have a bit more pep in his step here, but the nade will take that right out of the wings. Oh, burnt a little as well. So that's a note from him.
Double mid setup should lock this down. 3 on the other side here.
Oh, I haven't seen this one tested by so many bodies yet. Here you go.
Is the same age as
Any flashes or will they crawl?
There's the flash.
And here's the frag. Tested, and Yakinda takes them both down. Okay, Ents. What you got now? Because Yakinda's on the prowl. Hades does have that mid angle. Smoked gap. Yakinda, oh, he's on for the 3rd, maybe the 4th. Yakinda does meet Snappy's M4.
That was a shit
A 2-man advantage.
Why are you looking into the
One CT on either side, and just through the gap, Snappy catches Flit's walk. The advantage starting to be ripped away from them. Bomb still down in the depths of the site. Kicket's got a lot of room though. Will Snappy be anticipating someone so pushed up?
Kicket might have heard a couple of footsteps there as well to try and identify this hold. Now just waiting for the bomb to get scooped to make its way over. They're working with 2 flashes here. So one of the keys with Kicket's forward position is they could get him right onto the cusp here, pushed on up, and Snappy's coming his way. Snappy actually fancies a fight here.
He's going to have a look. Oh, he does find Kicket. That will cancel their plans. They were about to commit. Now the bomb's on his map and the bomb is down the floor. Buster gone. Nothing. Not a single bullet connects. Snappy individually pulling his weight and then some. 2nd highest in the server. And now it's just Jame 1v2.
Oh.
Snappy confirms it.
Wants the ace.
Can't be picked up. Snappy let him have it. Takes it. Ace. And a wink from the in-game leader. Ents going to be happy with that one, but the Dane explicitly.
Yeah, that was beautiful stuff. And Snappy continues to
that
show
was so
just got a number.
Right?
One of the older boys out here getting it done. In-game leader. Shot some flare. And this was after the Yakinda 3-piece feed. Out mid. 2 gaps in the same. They threw 2 smokes to deal with that and flubbed it both times.
And that's the punishment for it. Snappy's domain on A farms up 5 frags at the tail end of that first half. That puts them up to 10, Chad. A pistol worth its weight in gold for the outsiders. Now let's see whom of this outsiders roster has that golden touch, that Midas touch. Buster equipped with the Kev. We've got a lot of util. Good grief. Okay, CT side. Regales themselves with a double smoke, double flash combo.
Yeah, the nades you can understand, right? You can use that to deal with the plant. You can see that being left there exactly to do so here. But the smoke, the flashes, do they have something in mind here? As lots of noise, bit of a bull in a china shop type situation. And look how far Snappy is. Look how far up he is already.
Okay, lads, nothing home. The nade held by Yakinda. Bombs nowhere near. They're going B. They're going B. And Buster quickly gets some information back. 4 CTs find themselves in the right place. And now all of this A presence might incite a rotate.
What the fuck?
Look how far up they are.
How did they get the whole bomb site with eco?
Kind of in a bit of a box.
I mean, I get it that they saw them on B and
they're in the right place. Think about the pulse.
But you
Kicker.
still don't pull
they
back.
Cut Snappy's short.
Oh, it's pistol.
Bomb plants. And that's the nade stack. 1.
Okay.
And 2. Okay, wow. Dia gets away and gets the frag. Bomb plant as well. Humongous from Dia.
Retardo Patronum.
He's still sticking around. Why not? With the low HP. Hades long range with that P250. The support present. Multiple frags available. Jame does silence 1. Madden takes his place immediately. Madden trying to stay frisky, trying to stay dynamic and threatening. So many bodies. Deals with 1 of the 3. 2 remaining. Buster on headshot. Up and over. The Z-axis blinds him. He had no idea it's Hades sandbags. They know! And Buster hits it.
That's
cracker.
What you get from buying
For
P250
outsiders as they get the must-win.
Wow, that was pretty sketchy in patches right there.
I told you, chat.
That was very, very wild scenes. Once you get the position up there over towards sandbags of Hades with the P250, feels very, very strong. It even felt like that smoke was thrown and starting to fade as well. Hades, if he waited a second or 2, could have had an opportunity to take that fight. That was the opener from Kick It on the way back in. See, smoke just starting to fade here, and they're both running him on down. Oh.
He probably saw nothing. Just a black smoke as his lights were snubbed out.
Well, look at the buy. They've been able to get out some MAC-10s and AK, some Deagles, plenty of util to work with right here. Windows being broken. This could be very, very quick over towards B.
Yeah, you see the flashes they're throwing?
Lots of flashes.
Just trying to keep Buster caged.
He's on his own.
And he's dead. Oh. Okay, they can take a whole lot of space. The rotate swift. The cavalry has arrived.
Get the fuck out of here. They're going B.
And the smokes, look how the smokes, there's a whole channel for Madden to charge through, and he is straight through the obscured line. And now elevated, Kicker joins him, and he does meet the MAC-10. Ends with 2 large contributions to enable and facilitate a plant. This second round force, very threatening.
That was scary even for me.
Outsiders did it once in the pistol, but now 3 left to try and rock the boat back in their favor. Yakinda's good for it. Flit, half the health of the stacked boxes. They're all behind the gen. Hades needs a fresh mag and is given the privilege. 1 is good enough, but the double's even better. Flit, a dead man walking, and you have an 11th Ents. Know what that means.
I love that. I love that little play right there. The fact is, for Buster, that util's landing behind him. He doesn't even know what's going on. You see how quick it was thrown, how fast they were, all the suppressing flashes to deal with that type of aggressive maneuver. The fact he gets nothing done, that space that was taken. The CTs lobbed an extra smoke forward to try and give themselves something to push back into to get some ground, but they were too scared to play in front of the smokes. Madden wasn't scared at all. Him pushing in took away all that space, confirmed that no one was forward, and now it has to be an eco out of Outsiders.
It's going to feel similar. Very, very similar. It might even be exactly the same. An identical round thrown in. This time it's Snappy leaping into the spray on default. Clears out Kicker. There's a lot more where that came from, but Snappy, good for the double. And Outsiders, they didn't get a time to process, to reposition, to think it out already. Bomb is down and the round is lost.
Well, Snappy had run into the side there at 1:40 seconds with both those smokes already up. So that's how quick that they're blooming as part of that. And the way that you would have to deal with this is have multiple bodies ahead of the smoke wall fighting over towards the ramp position. But they have so many suppressing flashes. So you're going to have to problem solve this quite quickly because this is going to echo through the rest of this half. Even if Ents don't run it consecutively, if they can save it, but the threat of those smokes, the way that they have to approach this on the CT side now, Outsiders, they have to acknowledge this little pocket play. And you bang on the fact that they've run it 2 times in a row, the Outsiders know that this is something that is going to be coming their way. So it's something that they have to address. It's not something they can just forget about.
It's probably safe to assume that they just spent this save of the light pistols talking about it, thinking it through. Snappy has just straight up pulled a page out of the strat book, and it's likely, you know, so let's not forget Saw the coach as well. One of the reasons we saw Vertigo in that map veto today.
Yeah, that was a bit of a conversation as well, ending up here, right? Because if you look at the head-to-heads of these guys in recent times, Vertigo hasn't actually graced the map pool between these 2 teams. So interesting to see it come through. Definitely something that Ents has been working on, and for good reason right now. And that lost streak of 4 for Outsiders could very swiftly become 5. And, well, throwing those early flashes.
Same flashes. Immediately draws attention. Yakinda's the one tasked with holding ramp and flash smoke. He has nothing. 0, zilch, nada.
And you see how many players Outsiders started over towards B with, right? They started with the lion's share of, obviously, this is an eco situation, but they were prepared for more of the same. Now they have to rotate back on over, and well, they're out of position for now. As the smokes start to fade, you can see the B bomb site is left empty.
Hence, they can't afford to trip over their shoelaces. Madden, only 1. Rifles to be retrieved, and Hades has to bodyguard them. Double, good for it. And so, the stress and the sweat wiped off the brow. For a moment there, it looked like Ents were about to be tested, but the hard part is certainly still to come. 13 secure. The rifles are going to be back out in full force, and this is when that conversation continues, right? They've done it twice. It's worked twice. Do we have to lean a second rifle B? Do we have to, adjust our setup?
I'd love to see them run it again, just see if they are able to punish with it here. Looks like Spinx is going for the gap smoke, so a different look here as they will be going up against James AWP on the other side. Yakinda quickly over towards short. Is going to be denied vision here.
Quick response if he wanted to drop his own smoke. Snappy's lining up short.
Yeah, so that means they can't play out on that girder, so would deny any aggression, and now they're just crawling on up the ramp. The sharp object that is Madden looking for a head or 2.
Yeah, he's going to get naded down to half here. Flit. Snappy already good onto Yakinda, but Flit activates and successfully does get out of dodge. Madden slinking through short as Deher and his B progressions. That's the easiest frag Jane will post. A dry peek out of Madden, not anticipating an AWP. Now this boost, Buster very well drilled on his B defense. It's the only sight he sees.
Aren't they? Look at that nade.
100 damage dealt. Buster, Kicker. So they do lose one of the 2. And if Hades is quick on the scope, That's a prime position to find Buster on these boxes. Smoke's there from his teammate. Toe spotted. Buster close. Spinks does somehow find the head. Good grief. 1 HP, he gets away with that, and now suddenly Outsiders have to think this through. Jame has a flash to enable Flit to take a fight.
But he's so low. This would be a normal situation where Outsiders would save. You wouldn't often see Outsiders go for a round like this, and Jame fancied his chances right there. And it's actually Flit who was the one a little bit more frigid about going in for that retake. So, looking just to hold on to this M4. This is looking great for Ents, and it felt like they got stalled on out. But you saw that nade come in and land on the boost. That's why Diha and Hades are so low on... actually, Spinks was so low on HP with that nade situation. And once you smoke the top of the stairs, as the CTs, your options of where you have to watch kind of changes a little bit. You're worried a bit more about the boost. And it felt like they had accounted for it until they hadn't. So... Bit of an odd one right there, but Ents are looking great. 14 confirmed.
Yeah, and just also, this is a big red flag for all teams preparing to anti-strat. There's a new map in town for the Ents power rankings. You've got to be very cautious if Snappy and his cronies have managed to add another one to their repertoire to this extent. I mean, I'll read the score out one more time. 14-6. Outsiders. Though there is a bit of a loss streak brewing on Vertigo, historically, this is a map that they can ply their trade very effectively. Smoke for the ramp from Flit. The flash is leaning B. This could be that B take once again. You can see the two smokes they throw. Buster already blind, calling for raid. Kicker is there early, but the MAC-10 posturing. Good dig. Only the one. It's a double from Diha again. Top of the scoreboard. The high-flying pole has got them an avenue into the... Oh, look at that. That's super geeky as hell. Oh, and a second one as well. Where are you supposed to go?
You can't go anywhere. And on that B site, you can't do anything either. Right, like it is so suffocating what they're doing here. You saw the two players on the site wanted to stand and fight. That's fine. It's only two of you.
Do you smell it, Chad? That's the smell of a meta shift.
I love this, seeing the B bomb site getting so much love. As well, Spinks will give a bit of that over to Yakinda. Bullet in the dome one.
Vertigo is only one site.
Well, look, they want to change that conversation right now, but we'll see. Nart's probably already downloading the demo, ready to make a video or two.
I can't wait for all the keen Estonian 5 stacks to start dropping them.
I forgot who I was talking to in recent time. I was having a chit chat with somebody recently, and they were saying that they think that on Vertigo, the smokes from spawn through the windows haven't been fully utilized yet. Obviously, we've seen Apex doing it over towards A, but right now, like, just how quick and I say the word again, suffocating, because that's what this is, right? And they have good protocols for it. Okay, they throw a Molotov. Well, we're going to extinguish. We have a lot of flashes, so we want to take that fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of mischief in the server from Ents at this point in time. Even their face kind of embodies that. You can see Spinks feels like he's getting away with something naughty with these flashes and smokes combined. They're throwing him again.
This time it's a bit more of a fake here, though, right? You can see them throw all that U-tilt.
Yeah, but look at Jame. You've got Jame, Kicker,
3 players leading B.
Buster there. It's mission accomplished, bro.
And they didn't even throw all the util, right? It was just one smoke as opposed to the 2 with all the flashes. So it is right now just Flit and Yakinda to batten down the hatches and hopefully hold on towards A. And Yakinda needs to make sure he doesn't fall off the map here. Dicing with death.
Flip barrel may betray him there. Snappy eyes locked on it. Madden responsible for this angle. Oh, nice timing on Yakinda, but unable to put them in the right place. He does eventually, and it's Diha quick in response. Uh-oh, that sound cue usually is the cue that Flick can activate. It's Buster instead that's trying to lock the door. A quick one out of Hades. Short clear. Orp up close.
Not that quick.
Is this really the last round of Vertigo? Outsiders, 3 left. Defending their honor. Oh! And Hades does it again. Kick it up close. This time meets the Zoom banger. Buster and Jame. Just Jame. Up against 3 Ents running rings around the Outsiders on Vertigo, no less. A team effort. Jame, nice angle just on the gap. Does exploit. D has gone, but so is the bomb.
Spotted 1. Smoke faded. 20 seconds. They need to pick this up. They need to deal with Jame.
Snappy's on that close wall. Jame will just bide his time for the sound cue. Oh, just a flash of Snappy. That's a huge advantage now as the hunt comes in. 10 seconds. He's isolated the duel.
No!
Jame looking to extend play. Spinks says no and ends 2-0. Oh my. That is quite a result. Dominant from end start to finish.
Yeah, and that loss streak continues for Outsiders now. Vertigo, this will be 5 in a row. They came into a 4-loss streak on this map, but able to show a very, very good face here. And that's once we go into the second half, right? The CT half was a little bit more late, but they had to work for it. We had that Hades 1-on-3, where we had some clutch situations. We had Spinks coming down into a one-on-one situation as well. Yeah, just keeping their head above water in that first half. Then they managed the 10-5, and then they show us that on the second half of play. So brilliant stuff. Ensign 2-0 column. Yeah, brilliant from Ents, and I'm sure some more brilliance to follow over at our panel. Let's head over to the analysts with Freya.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, Ents make this look easy, clean and clinical from them, as they are now just one best-of-3 series away from qualifying for that Legends stage. Man, what spectacular style for them to do it. And we were talking about the contrast of playstyles. Ents just coming out full force, looking spectacular doing it.
This is a statement from Ents, right? To everyone out there who were still doubting a little bit whether or not they had the class in order to be one of the favorites to qualify for the next stage and perhaps one of the favorites to go into the playoff, this win right here shows exactly why they are. The map pool of Ents is building up to be very, very strong. We talked about, you know, the map pick of Vertigo, allowing that to be picked here by Outsiders, and then just absolutely destroying them on what is supposed to be their home field. This right here, Devil Walk, that is a statement from Ents.
Yes, and it's incredible to see, because it's not the usual players stepping up here. We see Hades and Dusha really coming in and proving a point here that they might also be key players for them to get winning, because you saw that, you know, amazing play from Hades. Dusha was super solid early on, and you can see some of the stats here in a 16-6 victory.
Yeah, it was absolute dominance, just as Alex and Chad was saying. I do want to put that particular moment for Hades under the spotlight, though, Jacob, because that really catapulted him to be gaining that momentum and just looking hugely confident as well.
Yeah, it was exactly what we talked about right now, right? That Outsiders, they like to play a slow-paced Counter-Strike style, and sometimes it feels like time is of the essence in the way they move around the map. You can do that if you want to stress out your opponents, and we did see that in the round where Hades were left in a 1v3. It was kind of wild to see them not, planting the bomb earlier. It was kind of wild to see them take so long to get it to the bomb side. Credit to Hades, obviously, for winning that round and making the play, getting both the kills in a pressured situation. But if you're Outsiders, it's like you're constantly flirting with time. You get the round here on your screen, right? There's only 23, 22 seconds left, and that's okay. But you can see it's tough, right? It's a 5v5 with only 20 seconds left. There's a world where there's going to be some back and forth trading. As you see right here, Spink goes down to Buster. James takes one more, and at this point, there's 10 seconds left. Just get the bomb down straight away and plant safe instead of planting open right here. Hades gets the first kill, gets the second, and at this point, it's just over. For my money, there's no point whatsoever in not planting safe, and that costs the round of Outsiders. And when you're flirting with time, you better do it in style.
Yeah, and this is huge, like mental aspects of this round. The amount of release of pressure from Ents, who gets a free round basically. A round they've lost, bring it back, Hades clutches it. And the amount of pressure it builds on the other side, it's a huge swing in momentum.
I want to talk about Diha a little bit more as well. He was a player that we were posing coming into this alongside Madden, that had that ability to create space, that explosivity factor you were talking about, and we saw him shining spectacularly throughout this map.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just like he's a little bit of a weird player to watch, because he does very unorthodox moves that you sometimes question, but he's so good in these moments that they pay off. It's kind of a thing I can bring back to a reference when I was playing with JW. Theoretically, what he does doesn't really make sense, but you have to let him do it because it works.
Yeah, I guess playing against JW is quite the experience, no doubt playing with him, let alone must be even worse in that scenario. I agree with you. Duha is a great player, and he's one of the players that goes under the radar a lot of the time. Let's be honest, we often talk about Spinks, we talk about Madden, we talk about Hades as well. And Duha is just that, secondary string in the rifle team right here, but he's doing well. I think he lacks a bit from consistency, but when he's playing well, as we saw in this game, then that's a player who can also, take over the server and also have that ability to be a decision maker.
I want to pose a question to both of you, particularly about that T side that we saw from Ents, because we were talking about a huge win condition for Outsiders coming into this particular map, with Shikinza on that A ramp position. And we saw Ents kind of flirting more towards that B side of the map. Do you think that was a conscious decision from them to kind of get away from Shikinza and not allow him to get those aggressive duels?
It's a good question. Whether or not that's them, localizing a weakness on the B bomb side or them getting away from Shikinza, it's tough to say. We did see the couple of times they did move move up to A ramp. Yakinda was there and he was fighting and he always got 1 kill, right? So to stay away from Yakinda could be part of the game plan, but it was just clear to me to see that ENCE, you know, they knew how to take that B bomb site. They knew how to utilize it. We even saw in a 3v5 scenario they were able to take the B bomb site and win the round. So more or less it seemed like they found a weakness.
Yeah, and it could also be the case that they just tried the B side. Okay, this was way too easy, and
let's try again.
Let's just keep doing this, you know. And that's sometimes how you do it in the middle of the match. You have to adjust. You have to see what pieces and what rounds work, and try to abuse it and find the right time to negate their adjustments.
Yeah, it certainly was easy for ENCE coming into their second round 2 matchup here at the PGL Antwerp Major. But we can take a look at the other results that have been going down. Of course, there is a B-Stream Side of Life been going on at the same time. Of course, they are on to their 4th series of the day. But just looking at some of these results, I mean, anything from the B Side of Life, any surprises for you there, Jacob?
I mean, it's a surprise that EF were able to win 16-2. I thought Renegades was going to be more competitive in that game, but they're playing a rough tournament so far. Complexity winning against IHG, not too big a surprise, but the third one right there, Imperial taking down Team Liquid, which puts Team Liquid 0-2. They're 1 match away from not qualifying for the next stage or being out, you know, as the first team of this stage. It's a disaster for Team Liquid, and it's not good enough.
It has to sting. It has to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's their old teammates. They didn't think they could make it work with Fallen previously, and now him bringing back, you know, the old guard of his Counter-Strike career, and actually beating his old teammates. That's a huge statement.
All the credit to Imperial for that one. That's a massive win as well. As I said, you know, it's a statement for them. Them qualifying just for the major, to me, was surprising. I didn't expect them to be so competitive. You said it yourself. It's tough to come back after a long period of a break. So for them to play so well and take this victory, it's a massive scalp.
And definitely a tough situation for Liquid to find themselves in. But luckily, we do have a few words from Nitro, courtesy of Banks.
I've got Nitro with me from Team Liquid, and sadly they fall to Imperial to find yourselves down the 0-2. And I guess, okay, opening game, people can kind of look at that and say, yeah, tough one to come into. But against Imperial, most people consider you guys to be favourites coming into it. You were just telling me, like, practice has been looking good. So where do you feel Liquid's at right now?
I personally still have a lot of faith in my team. I think we still have a high chance of making it out as a group, even though we're 0-2 right now. Obviously, it's just like a game of Counter-Strike where first team to 16 wins, and here it's first to 3 wins gets out. So I still have a very good mentality going into it. You know, I think you still have to beat us, and it's going to be hard to beat us in a best of 3, in my opinion. So I definitely still have a lot of faith and confidence in my team, and I think we can bounce back.
And in terms of what's been going on for Liquid recently, we look at, say, the showdown, right? People mainly thought that you guys were going to qualify. We see Shocks come in, and he certainly started to look better. But what do you think is missing for you guys right now in terms of being back up there and being back on top of what we know Liquid can be?
That's the golden question right now. I think, like, we were definitely on an upward trajectory, you know, since, like, the beginning of the iteration of this team. Yeah. And we definitely had some, like, areas or maps specifically where we feel like we kind of plateaued. So it was, you know, when you make a new team, it's hard to be good on all 6 maps right away. You're going to have like a map or 2 where you're really confident. You're going to have a map where you feel like you need to put more theory in or server time, or you're going to have a map where you just don't scrim as much. And I think over the past like 4 months or so, like we've been trying to get the best of all the maps and figure out like what we're good at and stuff. Because when you're a new team, like you have to see what you're good at. You can't just be like, we're going to be good on this map. We got to, you know, you got to get a lot of reps and stuff. So that's what we've been working on. And unfortunately, we were confident in our Inferno coming into this tournament, but we have these teams just show us that we still have a lot to work on.
And in terms of what I understand, you were in Utrecht before this, right? Boot camping out in Europe. How much time did you manage to get into that, and what kind of things were you able to achieve? Because, like you said, you felt good during that period.
So we came home after the RMR, and we had Dallas qualifier online, and we had the Blast Showdown online. So we couldn't get like an extensive boot camp coming into the major. It would have been nice to make the next stage of the major. That way we would have had some more time to be at home / you know, boot camp or whatever in practice. But unfortunately, we're in the lower stage, and we had like a 3-day, 4-day boot camp coming here, just in a jet lag and whatnot. And it was a really good little short boot camp. We had Shocks go home and get some time with his family because he's been on the road for a while. So we're trying to get like a good balance of our lives and stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, winning would be nice right now.
And in terms of that, you think if you could get that just next win, right, put yourself in a 1-2 situation, we can see that boost of the mood and boost of like everyone starting to see it's achievable. Because like you said, you believe in the team right now, but I saw some of the heads quite low coming into this one.
Yeah, I think like obviously best of ones are always going to be tough. I feel like they always favor underdogs, and I mean historically they favor underdogs because I don't know, it's kind of weird because like you have so much time to prepare for like 2 maps, and then you can kind of like over prepare because you have so much time in your hands. It's like
thinking about it too much.
Exactly, and then so it's just like best of ones are tricky for sure, but best of threes are always, in my opinion, the better team's gonna win. Majority of the time, obviously. So I think we're still like a top tier team here, and I think a best of three is gonna be hard to beat us in.
Well, I'm looking forward to see it. Nitro, thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
To succeed in this game, you need to invest in yourself. Be daring. Innovate. Calculate. Never hesitate. Follow your instincts. Don't follow the crowd. Back yourself. Bank your wealth. Analyze, strategize, and galvanize. Now is the time. Take your shot.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen. GG Bet. This is real.
You have to yell, please. Why did you shout? I didn't shout.
A historic series to be rounding out the day. The first time Astralis will take on the French-Danish mix and come toe-to-toe with their former teammates. Devilwalk, Pimp, I cannot think of a bigger banner to close out the first day here in Antwerp.
It couldn't be any better. It couldn't be any better whatsoever. We have Astralis going up against Vitality. Obviously in itself, a matchup with a lot of quality on the server, but the history, these players in between. Dupree, Magix on one side, going up against the team they were born in, more or less, right? I know they played elsewhere in their careers, but their entire legacy was built in Astralis, and now they have to try to beat them down in a major game that could put them 2-0 and just one game away for qualify for the next spot. So right now, Devilwalk, I'm pretty excited, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm super excited. I mentioned in the green room, this is kind of a desk slamming kind of game, because there's so much history. Just like you said, there's so many emotions going through, and you know each other. It's mind games throughout. So incredibly exciting to see, because they both went up against a little bit weaker opponents early on, and now we get to see a real test of how they can play and perform against a good team.
That will be very satisfying.
Yeah, you say
for
that,
Astralis.
and combined, both these squads have only lost 3 rounds collectively so far at the major. Of course, Zywoo, Mr. Superstar himself, hasn't died so far this event either. Definitely an historic stat here at the major, and I'm expecting him to show up once again here again.
Yeah, I'm going to make a bold prediction here and say he is going to die at some point in this game, and I think he's also going to take more than 90 damage, which was the case in the first game. He didn't even take 100 damage throughout 17 rounds. Zywoo and the boys from Vitality is in for a tougher task here, no doubt. Astralis is a team that, they've been struggling ever since Dupree and Magix left them, ever since the core of the lineup was kind of destroyed and they had to rebuild. It hasn't been too good for Astralis, but they're getting better and better. Whereas for Vitality, they're off to a rough start as well. There's 2 teams who are following the same path right now. I would say a lot of potential, a lot of, I guess, unreleased potential so far, but none of them have really played up to their full potential just yet. And I think this game could be a statement for both.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see Farlik against Zywoo. An interesting matchup. Obviously, Zywoo should be favored in that matchup, but I'm really excited to see him perform against the best of the best.
I want to get your insight onto Falig in particular, Devilwalk. For those of you at home that aren't familiar, of course, you've worked very closely with him on his previous team. So can you tell me a little bit about what he is like as a player, what you're kind of expecting him going up against?
He's like a little bit better than me.
I mean, both personality, super easy to be around, he jokes, he laughs, he brings a lot of good energy to a team. But he's also a previous rifler. I think he's only played AWP for a couple of years. And basically, he has that understanding of movement as a rifler. And I think it really makes his AWPing much better. And not as flashy and stuff like this, but more percentile. He likes to support his riflers. He knows how to support his riflers. And I think that it's a great offer to have alongside someone like Config.
What has impressed me the most is Farley coming into this lineup, into a lineup that historically speaking has had a very tough time replacing Device. Ever since he left this lineup, the AWP role has been up in the air. You know, you saw Lucky come in, didn't do too well. You've even seen some of the stand-ins coming in Yuki, who they tried to implement into the lineup as well in a period, didn't do too well. So the fact that Farley is coming into Astralis and already now has been finding his footing. As I said, you know, during the qualifier, during the RMR event, he was one of the difference makers for Astralis as well. He was one of the guys actually picking up the pace when needed the most for those. So to see him do so well already now in such a tough spot is something that I keep an eye on.
And something that really impresses me about him as well, we heard it back at the last showdown, you know, just a week ago, the fact that he's already dictating space within Astralis. It's good to see that confidence. We had some of the team comms as well, where he was kind of saying to, like, you know, this is what I need to be in the prime position to be succeeding. And we can see that comfort level kind of allowing him to flourish more within the team.
Yeah, and that's also one of his strengths, is one of these things, you know, when you have an aggressive player that makes a call, what they want to do, what they want to the initiative, and he fills on. He fills on. I will do that then. I will do this. I will be able to help you with these flashes, these nades. Do you want this? So he's very active in the communication when someone takes an initiative.
And we can see Mirage coming up as the map in this best of one series. Interesting from both sides of the equation. We saw Vitality finally ending their loss streak on this particular map, but then Astralis looking incredibly dominant, surprisingly, at the showdown on this map.
They destroyed a couple of teams. I remember them beating down NIP 16-2 or 16-3. It wasn't even a game, and you're right. I feel like Mirage is very much in the middle of the pack for both teams. Vitality are by no means a good Mirage team. At least they haven't showed us yet. As you said, they did get a win against Mouse when needed the most during the qualifier, but up until that point they lost 7 in a row. So for Vitality to stand up against Astralis or Mirage, it's to me a very risky one right here, but I think both teams are in the same boat, so to speak. It's kind of a bit of a wild card for me.
What do you think is going to be the difference maker, Devilwalk, just in terms of both sides?
I think on Mirage specifically, if you look at Astralis, when they've had these huge performances, it's been Blame F. He did it against ENS, but they crushed them on Mirage last time, and he knows this map. He knows how to
Hello, chat. You do not know who I am, but I know who you are. Do not trust the Forsen on the screen. He is not a clone. He is not the original. He has destroyed the clone that he's destroyed all remnants of Forsen DNA. Cannot create clones. He is among us.
Yeah, and I really love Mirage, right? They touched on it there, but we really want to drive this one home. It was 0-7 for Vitality on Mirage since the addition of the 2 Danes and, well, the coach of Zonic over there. Then, in the third map, in a 2-2 game against Mouse, just to get here to the Major, they had to win on Mirage 16-13, and before that, they took on Na'Vi, 16-13 loss, FaZe, 16-14 loss. So they've been putting a lot of work into the Mirage, but both of these sides, well, with Astralis players, have had issues on this map, picking it up and bringing it into their map pools. But here we go, underway.
Show me the moves.
Oh, man. A blend of some former rosters, Magisk and Dupree, Zonic, all departing from Astralis and now clashing with former teammates Zipex, Glaive, flashes over, Blame, at least blind, but in. Zipex completely smokes off a nice deep short smoke there. Masuta on bench is not going to go down. A bit shy of the mark is Blame. Dupree already has stamped his mark on the site. It's Config's turn as he does post 1 on the USP. Already numbers heavily favoring that T side as it's 4-on-1. Glaive's only just about arrived and that kit unlikely to be needed or used. Already catches a goosh to the dome. And with 1 HP, a convincing opening out of the Vitality squad.
Yeah, keep it simple. Dupree with 2 massive kills, Masuda with the same, and Apex to finish it off. taking down Glaive. And guess what? Zywoo still yet to die. So let's see how long this little game can go on, as we do get a little bit of a technical timeout here to get into round number 2.
So Zywoo, we're keeping track. He has... did he take any damage?
No.
That's the question.
I think he was unscathed.
100 HP. I'm pretty sure he was juicy.
Yeah, well, he's trying to hang back.
Yeah. So far at this major, he has taken 90 damage total.
Yeah, that's a pretty impressive stat line to have next to your name. And look, as Jacob said, it's very, very... well, no, it's not very unlikely. He will die this game.
Yes, Chad, we can say that with conviction.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was doubting it when you said it.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
This was coming out of my mouth. I was like, have I just created a monster here? But
cast
no.
a curse. No.
It will not be a warm-up game like both of these teams had to start the day. Vitality a 16-1 victory over Complexity, and Astralis a 16-2 victory over IHC. So it's not like they had to work, but at least they're warmed in. They're familiar with the setups. You know,
Alright, here you go.
They're going to be feeling themselves going into this match.
Super Mic testing 1 2 3 1 2
Whether it
3.
is for the 2-0,
Professional
you want to talk
popcorn
about
eater
ego,
at
you
your
want to
pride
service.
aspect of this.
I think Pride is the juiciest of the two. I mean, both teams, you know, on many's pick 'em for the next stage of competition, but this head-to-head, this is the first time. I'm sure you'd have heard it over at the desk, but to reiterate for those that have just joined us, this is the very first time we've got to see Astralis versus Vitality ever since the change and the departure of the trio to Vitality.
Just a bit of a headset issue there, but has been sorted, and we are getting this one back underway. But in the meantime, if you want to buy a ticket, scan that QR code, head over to the webpage. They paused again on us.
Yeah, 19th to 22nd of May at the...
Why are they pausing?
Come hang out, get a nice chocolate bar.
Oh, he goes for scout.
Around here.
Lots of waffles.
Big carry.
And good mayonnaise.
I have been exploring.
Have you done the Belgian mayo?
No.
Are you a mayonnaise man?
I'll eat it.
Okay. Yeah. A hot fry and Belgian mayo is...
The fries here have been great so far.
Oh yeah. That's
and I've only been... This is only the second day I've been here.
I do need to go for a proper explore.
The beer is also a bit of an option.
It is. There's, I think I had a beer that was 500 years old that was made by monks. I don't think
500 years old, made by monks.
Yeah, but the beer itself that I was consuming, I imagine, wasn't 500 years old. But the brewery,
the way that they brew the beer,
the technique.
I see.
You know, I kind of got to really put myself in the shoes of a man walking around in the 1500s.
How did that feel?
Well, it was basic,
I'm eating cheddar
no
popcorn.
Basic, not much going on. No WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Hey, Tabsters, Flug, Slow Hoof, Kablack, Camp, Faf, OW, Kip, Joe, Kip, and Iritardambo. Thank you, boys. Welcome back.
Now we have Devil Walk, of course, talking about Farley, and he's taking the role of that of Lucky. There was a lot of kind of
why are they not explaining
murky waters regarding Lucky's
who are you rooting for?
Astralis, how long he was going to be
I'm
there.
rooting for Astralis.
The results and the response since Farley's integration.
It's always fun when they leave the teams and then they lose the team they left.
Lucky, but his presence has facilitated.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
it's my absolute favorite.
An upgrade. But yeah, I think just having him as more of a stable force, because Lucky had that whole situation where like even Glaive did the primary AWPing over him for a while. I remember breaking down the stats of how it went for poor Lucky throughout that period. So it hasn't been the easiest of times for Astralis to get their act together, but they definitely have. The last couple of events they've had, they've been stringing together some good results. They've settled on having Trace now as the full-time head coach. He was there on more of like a trial basis.
I put it in the fridge before eating it.
Academy team, and now they've removed Ave, and they've actually brought Moddy in to coach the academy team over there for Astralis. And obviously we had the chopping and changing on this side. Masuta has been the issue, I would say, at least as far as the numbers go.
That was sarcasm. Obviously, it's not cold popcorn, you
obviously
fucking
had that period of time
retards.
where he wasn't looking too hot to trot.
No,
it's not microwave popcorn, so it's not hot.
It's not like he forgot how to play the video game. It was the same human being playing the video game. But we know how everyone that's played Counter-Strike understands how much it is about the speed by which you're processing your information. Right?
Yeah, there's a couple of factors, right? Language being one of them, structure being another. New coach in the mix here as well, right?
You're right, man. Thank you for the 2 years, dude. Bro fist. It's not a bro fist. It's a cringe fist.
The best team of all time.
The way Zonic, I discussed it with him in the elevator briefly. I was like, I didn't know where to put you guys. I didn't know what to expect. Zywoo went missing. How have you found him? Have you brought him back? And yeah, just summarizing it as saying we initially tried to bring the best of Astralis and mix it with the best of Vitality. He even said we tried to play like the Vitality, towards the tail end of 21. Sure. It seems that the actual answer is it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
And I mean, no surprise, that takes time. So we are ready to get our second round underway. Headset issue resolved. T side for Vitality, and they are coming in with a lot of
rifle heavy.
A lot of rifles.
Heavy.
Good grief. Up against
Where's
the Deegs.
scout?
So it's going to be a big achievement if you can see Blame or any of these Deegs in the feed early. Gets info already. Apex there and knocking on the door. Zipex to be tested and warded off.
So stack towards B here. They're coming into this.
If Farley could rack them up, it seems like they didn't like what they saw.
No, they saw enough, didn't they? Oh, back and forth they go. Connector presence now. The rotation is coming on in thick and fast.
Oh, yeah, they are quick to this. Look at this. Look at this line charging back towards A. It was just Glaive on the site. He's now gone, but plenty to take his place. A lurk smoke, 2 of which have been dropped here. Oh, well, Shadow betrays Config on the slightest of gaps. Utility hailing over towards CT, and it should enable a plant. Masuta's going to go uncontested on that.
Should be a save here as well. If they can get away with these upgraded pistols, armor, and the scout, it'd be good. But Dupree's heard this. He's already heard them in kitchen, and he's hunted.
Oh, Zip just crossed. Dupree up against his former squad mates.
Oh, no,
now
no,
do
no.
as much damage as you can. You really will be playing for the next round of play, making it softening the blow of these saved rifles.
He's playing smart. He doesn't want to give away an AK.
He's not going to overcook it.
It's not worth hunting down armored
Yeah,
Eagle.
I think that's quite valuable here to hold on into the next. But it was interesting that it went so rifle heavy for Vitality there, and they all went through middle. So they wanted to take those type of fights. Quite clear indication by the way that they approached this round. But found a safe haven up through connector, able to get some space on the site. You can see Astralis trying to get their claws in and dig on into hunker on down, but nice conversion there, and now it will just be these 2 Deagles and the scout carried on through to give it a second crack, a double dip with the Force. Config and Glaive likely just to stay with these USPs.
I am going to keep track of it, because so far, I mean, yes, they did end up on A, but we've seen very early leans from Vitality up through mid and short, and of course through the apartments in that pistol. Wolf, run boost for Mathieu.
No.
Gets himself up at the front of the pack, and not in any hurry. Farley's scout smoked off.
Identified where that is quite early here. One of the USPs of Config bounds his way up in towards the vent room here, so a lot of presence towards mid.
No one in short side. They do get up, but Glaive has miraculously pulled a double headshot out with the USP. And
undetected.
Yeah, completely undetected. Config's not only got the bomb, but he's behind. A rifle.
Oh my
problems.
God, no
Apex
way.
Not ready for this. And another one, potentially. Dupree saves them, but already pandemonium in round 3. Supposed to be a second bite of the Force by Cherry, and now a 2-on-2 with AKs to be scooped. Blame has full control of the explosives, courtesy of Config's handiwork.
Magisk can just hit the brakes right now. It's on to Farley to see if he can lock down this market position here. As
oh no!
Pushing on
bad
through.
timing. Bad timing.
From Farley, but he's just going to walk into this AK. What a shot!
That hurts. Dupree down, and Magisk doesn't clear his corners. Astralis pull one out of the hat. That is naughty.
And it was the USPs, right? Glaive's USP gets the opening right there. Config, yeah, sure, he didn't use the USP, but just hiding up in towards that vent room is able to thread the needle between two of them. Apex trying to come late up catwalk here.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's Zywoo's first death on the replay.
Yeah, there it is.
He's like, oh, what's happening to me? What? Oh, my screen. I can't play anymore. This is... What's happened? Unfamiliar for him, but there it is. The first death of Zywoo's Major. Farley whips out the AWP into round 4.
I want to just build on what Devilwalk was saying, especially about Blame F. The core that was the driving force for Astralis on this map was the way that Blame F and Config would approach this map. Now, Zipex and Glaive have had a bit more time to be able to come to terms with how they want to approach it.
Show the op in mid. I'm going to fucking freak.
Makes it a little bit easier.
Well-placed flashbang does force Farley off the line, but they're too late. Already the bodies are dropping. Blame strikes. Farley's there. And now attention drawn towards the apps, rightfully so. 2 there, and now scarpering. Pulls a bit more utility out. That was the penultimate smoke. One more on Glaive.
Going around the world here. They do have Dupree Park top middle. And they have smokes to lob out towards A. So if they, I was going to say, wanted to try and feign and execute and allow Dupree to work with some space here, they could. But splitting up, it make life a little bit more difficult here as Glaive's pushing.
Glaive maybe has that Advantage onto Masuta and just brings the fight to him. Completely pantses him, and they are looking to get a spotless defensive round here.
I feel like it's a save at this point.
You feel?
There's no way back in, especially now that Apex has been smoked on off. I think they might just take the B apartments and apps and just chill on out for the next 25 seconds of play. Astrala's looking to level things up to 2. And 2 AKs retained is the best that Vitality are going to have to work with here going into the next. The question mark has to be, do they want to force around this? Masuda, Zaiwu, imagine they have no money to their name right now. They can invest into some Tech 9s and some utility into the next round. And it's also a positive that Vitality do have a little bit of residual utility in the hands of Apex and Dupree that they can use in the next. So I guess there's a positive of not getting to use it.
Yeah, it makes a round out of the next.
Who is the oldest player in this game? And how old is he?
Change for the 3.
It's crazy to think that they kept going into this map like time and time again and
in
kept
this
getting
match,
blanked.
not
and
game.
I was starting to
not
have
game,
conversations
sorry.
about maybe they
match.
should look to bring Ancient into the map pool because it's a new team and Mirage just doesn't seem to be working. And then that breakthrough game against Mouse. The fact that was the 3rd map in that best of 3 series just to get them to this event, right?
Dupree,
and they had to break that loss streak
29.
of 7 on the trot. Like, you were going up a lot, up against a lot mentally there if you were Vitality. And they have taken a time out to discuss their options through here.
And you know
Apex
the prep
29
for this potential head-to-head will have been thorough.
I heard that reaction time doesn't actually go down that much.
Simulate any of the potential matches coming up, this would have been the one that you would have saw.
It's a myth.
Gone, okay, well, let's make sure we spend a little bit of extra time here just focusing on this potential matchup.
I mean, just at least outlining where you think the veto is going to go. As a best of 1, the first head-to-head, Farley still back on the AWP and those saved rifles. Let's see what Apex and Dupree can get done here, because it doesn't look like Dupree's slowing down. He's just going straight into the mix, off the flash and a messy spray.
That was not good. That was poor. That was a Forsen spray.
That was Dupree's every day of the week, and now one of their 2 rifles gone. And oh, a gallery for Config. Finally, Masuta will sit him down, but the damage dealt. Apex, the other rifle on. Okay, Masuta's got a lovely dig on him, and not expecting Apex. Glaive falls, Vitality recover. Look at the speed by which they take this site, surging through connector. The rotate slow, and nice from Zipex, nearly aware of that second Magisk, was just playing around the edge of the smoke. Zip to relocate, and it's Farley late. Back into play, and oh, what a shot
what
at
an
Apex!
Angle!
A slither off angle, elevated, and he still gets the shot.
What
Here he
an
is,
angle!
Early 1-on-2 here. Does he want to flirt with the idea? You saw him take a couple steps forward. Now it was Swarm Magisk. He's going to step on out. He goes down a 1-on-1
Why would
now
you
against
do that?
Apex.
He has a smoke and a kit. Apex
Why?
on the default box.
You could lose the round here.
Should be Apex every day of the week. No idea. Absolutely no idea. And he pulls the smoke out. Played to perfection from the leader of Vitality. And not losing a point of health in the process. So with just the 2 rifles, they managed to make a round out of it.
Yeah, it was stream sniping.
I have to turn to Masuda here, though. His 2 kills were key. The shot onto Config was massive, but that connector kill that he gets onto Blame is like rolling out the red carpet to allow Apex to scale quickly up connector. That's what caught the A-site player completely off guard, because the death in connector happens, and Apex is already there taking the fight.
I wonder how good these
so
soundproof headsets are nowadays.
Great showing from him.
Config back into
Back in
the
my day,
hidey hole
they were
he did so
fucking
much
shit.
damage with.
You could hear commentators
On their eco.
every time, no matter what
Ineffective
game.
Molotov means Zaiwu is going to reside behind the box. An element of surprise, perhaps momentarily, not so much anymore.
Mike picks
Apex
up
delay arrival
crowd.
through
Yeah,
underpass. It's Masuta
I don't know
with
if they have
presence
crowd
towards that.
nowadays. This event for sure does not have crowd.
Dupree with a scraped knee. The only damage to report.
Bomb's now up towards the B apartments here. If they did want to consider a B execute, they get the 2 pillar smokes down. Config will be disconnected from this by being up in the vent room. Apex now through the underpass. Dupree still residing behind the top mid boxes. And Config needs to be very careful as an aid.
It will be an arena?
Lands on the toes of Apex there. So 2 players extremely softened up here for Vitality as they set their sights on this B set piece.
Yeah, Dupree's got the cue to start to maneuver.
It's not America,
so
so...
going to try and draw CT attention away. Oh, great find from Blame, and he gets away completely unscathed. However, B defender down and space taken. There's one more to get through. Damage onto the side of
I don't know why
Config, and he
that had
has
anything to
fallen
do
to the
with it.
hands of Magisk.
I know why I said that.
Kitchen occupied, but you can see a debate.
That didn't
Back
make
it
sense
up.
even.
Not interested in that. Farley sticking around. Blame and Glaive still in play. And Bomb now ticking in the favor of Vitality's fourth. Apex even working on a lovely late mid.
It's too quiet over towards B right now, so as he clears out
like saying
short,
it.
that'll alleviate all of the pressure. And
Works
then the
9
question
out of
is, does he
10
want to go
times,
for the hunt right
but not
here?
this
They
time.
could really punish Astralis. It is early, right? You would be risking giving up a couple of your guns over. They didn't have the best of buys coming into this round. There was some Galils in the mix, and still one was in the hands of Magisk until he upgrades into that M4. And they're very sketched on out as they do try and escape. Trying to make sure that they hold on to all these goodies. Up in towards the vent room. Bomb will go on. Fourth round now converted for Vitality. And the save. The loss bonus isn't built for Astralis to donate too much. Right? Maybe a Famis they could drop on over. An MP9 if they wanted to go for the buy here. That's going to be the big question that has to be asked and answered right now by the Danes.
Not buying fucking super shotgun and camping apartments.
Always admired Astralis' ability through all of the last year and a half of roster turmoil to just still be able to deliver at the premium that's expected of them. Well, Vitality are here. Former Astralis members and new ones too. Zywu wants a Farley to keep things level. And it's quick towards A. A different look now, another page. Config light on the weaponry, just a deagle for him and Zip. It's up to Glaive and Blame for long-range contributions. Oh, and that's a big duel to win. Speak of Blame, finds Dupree, and it's Glaive as well. Good for it onto Tetra. Zywu spotted out, half health as well. The flash is good, but turned. Config posted. Zywu, another victim, and this one has fallen flat as a pancake. It's not even Tuesday. Backing the hell out of there, and well, going to continue to see these boys trading blows. It was one for Zywu. Was that his first? It was indeed.
Yeah, so he's on the board. I guess that was a counter of a different variety. But that pace change right there
Not
just
Tuesday.
got completely denied. Farley not blind for that first kill, able to get the scope.
It's because you eat pancakes on Tuesdays.
The rest just kept on coming. And
in the Nordics.
Oh, Magisk. Oh. Having a bit of a look around here, seeing what he can find. Hasn't just conceded to the save right now.
Oh, you do too.
Okay.
Oh, it could have been gorgeous had it popped. Just I think an inch before the floor. Nice try, nice tag. But Config sticks around long enough to hit it on the scope.
Back in my days,
just a single
it
round
was
in
Tuesdays.
it. Astralis keeping things level, and this one doesn't look like it's going to be less than ideal.
It's very back and forth, right? This is how it started off for the BNE game that we had a little bit earlier against Forsen in the first half, and then I think the same thing with Outsiders. It felt a bit more back and forth in the early stages. But then one team
did you eat on
separated
Tuesdays?
itself from the other, right? And were able to run and really just shut things down quite quickly. Dupree has armor and a Glock.
Nothing.
So he needs a donation. What are you going to give him, Mr. Apex? Thank you very much. Get himself a P250.
Pack
so very
Tuesdays.
You shouldn't have.
That's not a Nordic thing.
Well,
maybe lately.
Something. Would have been a little bit more miserable just to have a Glock in hand here, but Magisk, he might be given an AK over if he just walks on in, and he will. So, Dupree, if you want a gun, you can go find one. Here we go.
Of Farley.
He's going over to go pick that one up. And Farley, look how far away he's already rotated. Has that kill, he's back in spawn, heading over towards the B bomb site.
I tend to imagine those maneuvers are at the whim of the AWPer themselves.
Oh, especially with spawns. Yeah, right. Yeah, you call that, right? And
course,
then your in-game leader will structure the defense around that.
But you can see the Farley, willing to take those initiative-driven plays, and the crosshair was right there for a fight with Apex had he mantled the bench. But he's going for a real cheeky one. What? They have no idea. They're right next to each other. And now a reload. Completely.
What the fuck are you doing? You heard
in
it.
front of us now, and there's more. Apex this time put on the floor. Zipex should have nothing to say about it. So we've got Dupree and Masuta now already into A. And the bomb will be planted uncontested. If they could get that smoke CT, they'd have a bit less to worry about. But now they know. And it's just Dupree. Another hectic spray. Another on for the 1v3, using that smoke now to reposition. Don't forget it's Farley, so just a sidearm from him.
I'm trying to watch here.
12 bullets.
Fuck.
12, and he's got to time this right. Blame is so patient, so stubborn. Dupree confirms it. Knows this one close, and just the USP for a quick headshot out of Farley. Astralis will equalize, tying things up, and a pair of frags for Blame and Farley.
Yeah, open and close that round, Farley. So great stuff from him. And that one, yeah, look, it almost got out of control, but it didn't feel like it should have, right? It was really good work from Astralis here. That exchange over towards Connector, when that smoke was thrown, it actually hit Glaive in the legs. So they heard the exchange, and I think that's why Apex thought he was on the other side behind the regular spam spot. Still got the kill out of all of it, but getting a little bit chaotic now as we do tie the score back up at 4-4. And having to take a bit of a step back here, Vitality. Just into pistols and a scout. Apex loves the in-game leader scout. It's almost his signature weapon here on these low buys.
And yet I've yet to see an Apex scout pop off. Blame's cancelled the plans for one today.
Oh.
Okay, Dupree's Deeg is always one to be feared. Blame F not willing to be fearful in the slightest. Takes the fight, takes down Masuta, his partner in crime, and on the retreat, another put in the vice. Glaive, guys, one by one. They do jump into that crosshair. Dupree will
one by
as much
one
as he could.
versus Deagle.
That
sounds like a smart idea.
The fact that they're showing that little respect, though, says a lot, right? Yeah, we'll just fight you. Yeah, who are you again? We lost your number. You know, like... Why? Because there's a lot into this, right? In terms of just how long Glaive and Zip played with Dupree and Magisk, and how much did they achieve together. You know the little tendencies, the way they like to. You know a little bit more about them in certain situations than they probably do.
Yeah, and not even that as well. Just knowing that it's Zonic every time out.
True.
Glaive and Zip will be all too familiar with how he likes to call those shots. Oh wow, Config's up to no good. Just straight up mid, and Magisk, none the wiser, deleted from the server early. They're popping B. It's up to Apex, trying to be that predator into the site, and he's got nothing done. Absolutely zilch. It's Masuta again with impact. Vitality can count on him. 9 so far in this series, but he's made a round out of this one. Round 10, it's Masuta's. And Dupree cannot finish anything. Glaive this time is the one to beat him out. Bogdan's Law again puts AWP in Glaive's hands. And Farley will be working the rifle. Oh, Zywoo. And now only Zywoo. The AWP could work well with 10 HP. Zywoo to try and come up clutch. And he's not having any of it. We're not with that health. He knows who he's up against. And Vitality, through sheer will, throwing bodies into B. We'll leave with the round.
Yeah, just as well. Masuta, you're right. The impact that he has had in two crucial rounds, right? That Deagle round, and then three players as he comes into the B bomb site. That
and he knew that he was on the left side next to the kitchen.
This is what you want to see, right? He was the biggest question mark as far as the stats column would go for the team, but things are starting to look really good if he can continue to do this. We tie things up again here. You know what? Like, there's so many other overlaps here as well. Like Config and Magisk used to play together back in the Dignitas.
No, I would not have retreated.
They were together as a pairing.
He didn't have kit.
Back when they kind of both like broke out, there were these
because they never have
pairing of hyper-aggressive riflers. And just the arc since then, you're having to go back to like the 2016, 2017s. And look at that again from Masuta. And the double swing here, right?
You know why kit is wasted money? Because it makes you think you can go for the fucking retake, and then you lose your weapons, which costs money.
Yeah, and you want to talk, you know, if you're in your time machine, you can also remember that, I mean...
Never buy diffuse kit.
For Config to Astralis when he was popping off on North. You know, who is this plucky young Dane popping heads? Now he finds himself in the jersey in 2022, and we find ourselves 5-5. Mirage continues to be rather inseparable between these two.
Yeah, well, they're going to buy out of this Astralis behind that saved AWP. A couple rifles, a Deagle for Zipex is the
what if no one buys?
Now. Aggressive towards ramp is Glaive.
There's always a retard that buys. It's like voting. Never vote. It is like literally not worth it.
Door, Config is
your time and effort contra what you can get in reward in return.
They do take a lot of space.
But there will always be people who vote
leaps into Dupree, takes control for a moment, and damage dealt to Apex. Softened up for that Deeg. Zipex didn't need the help, still hits the headshot. And it's a man advantage for Astralis. A very tight ship they are running. Farley, bit too aggressive, not going to be punished for it. Initially, very susceptible to a spray. Now 15 HP, Blame's there. Zip is 2, and it's Zywoo to finish. Vitality recover, 2v3. thanks to these two.
Wow, that is huge right there. They're running out to try and help because Farley's taking so much pressure right there.
What if voting is mandatory?
He goes with the extinguish.
If
all the
voting
eyes
is
are drawn. The step out from the Astralis players to punish.
Then we don't have a
the immediate trade
democracy
coming in
to
from
begin
Dupree.
with.
Config, the absolute madman pushing on through, but this is ZywOo doing some great
And your
work
vote
from Tetris.
won't probably matter
And
at
that
all.
is massive. Apex like that one a lot.
There is so much on the line here, more than a W in the column, folks. We got human beings, we got feelies. And this one, unfortunately, is destined for a quickie. Oh, I say that Config is changing the dialogue immediately. Catches Apex's journey. Double molly. Zipex safe from it. He's going to go unchecked. Masuta will do his due diligence. Rifle on short, tapped away at. Blame deterred, but they're in. And it's again Masuta who opens up the sight. Somewhat of a sight opener.
How do you lose B every time?
They're just going to try save
are you kidding me?
AK. And Dupree would love an extra $600.
Buy one fucking molly, one fucking smoke.
They will start to edge forward and ahead now.
Okay, now it was eco,
spotted,
but the other two times it was not eco.
I think you'll get a half-hearted hunt out of ZywOo.
Interesting to see what the matchup's going to look like tomorrow as well, right? We get one of these two teams joining that 2-0 column to meet G2, Forsen, and Ents, who are the three teams who just qualified. Well, not qualified, put themselves up in the 2-0 bucket, as it were. So one of these two names will join that, and then you can get even more crazy crossovers. Like you get Vitality going up against G2. Obviously, you've got Xtaz now coaching G2 up against. You know, there's so much fun stuff to sink our teeth into here.
Okay, I'll tell them what to do.
Quite a decent lead right now, 7-5. 7 on the T half here of Mirage, looking pretty good. And
Buy
I think
Nova.
they have worked very hard at their Mirage old Vitality.
Smoke
right? Three
B apartments.
In succession I was
push
talking
through
about.
the smoke.
They needed to kind of
after
get out
5
of that loss streak.
seconds.
But the two before that, a 16-13 versus Na'Vi and a 16-14 against FaZe. Two very, very good Mirage teams. It showed that a lot has been put into this for the French-Danish mix.
Yeah, and a lot of the conversation was about if Masuta's there, Vitality surely got all the pieces they need, and he's right here at the top of the scoreboard in a must-win game for both of these squads. Masuta strafes out, baits the shot, confirms AWPing presence B.
Yeah, double AWPs here. Config's brought into one, so trying to look for some impact with the big green. Gets to be very versatile. Now, I would call it secondary AWPing. I was talking to Devilwort last night, and he used the term hobby AWPing, which is sometimes what it feels like. And when you get to play the AWP like that, you get to be a Randy Rick. You can do whatever you want. You know, you don't have tendencies. You're not really being studied. It comes on out, and it's difficult to deal with. So let's see if Config can find that impact.
What?
I'll give you a Randy
hobby
Rick.
AWPing?
Apex has just
the fuck does that mean?
Successful T rounds against Glaive.
Like YOLO
I mean,
AWP?
this guy wasn't an in-game leader a couple of years ago, and now with some of the Astralis pieces, he's called a game 1 round away from the win on T's side. Mirage here. Some serious ground covered. Nice turn from Dupree. His back was turned as Glaive engaged, and still the frag found. Equalized now. Apex through the smoke goes down. It's Blame. Magisk through. They've got 3 committed to the A site, and now with Farley and Blame gone, they can plant uncontested. 1 short. Disconnected from the pack, but Config still contributing, and Zipex too, all the way from jungle, long range for this retake. And it's just ZywOo. Config and Zip. He has that smoke, but does not want to spoil.
It's not planted for him right now. It's default plant, so I don't know if he wants to fight them or let them in. Looks like he wants to fight.
Up and over.
No!
Just looked away, and on the drop, the inaccuracy. He gets one, he gets them both. Vitality secure the 8th, and it's at the hands of ZywOo, no less.
Wow, how?
Just looked away,
He's
Chad.
just fallen off the box as well. That's 2 kills in that round. The Dupree frag, he was looking the wrong way. ZywOo had a chance to readjust right here. The trade not able to come in with that AWP. That is going to sting. That's 8 rounds right now for Vitality.
It's planted for default. And Zip has him in his sights and slips off a bit too much on his plate. ZywOo clutches up, and he wants them to remember. The 8th has been secured. They get loud for that one. The 9th now on a silver platter, Chad.
Yeah, it's just this Blame F upgrade into the M4 to try and get some damage done. He's found the first. ZywOo back with 2.
He has just catapulted himself right back up to the top of the table. That Blame F rifle not going to have anything to say about this unless those others. Deagle, AK now. Deagle on Farley dancing and trifling with trouble. Apex happy to take him down, and yeah, there's nothing to be said about this one. Vitality's Mirage, a scary beast.
I hate those.
Not one to be trifled with, as this will be 9. Blame to save the M4. 15 and 5, worth mentioning as well. Blame's been farming up quite the KD.
Now, just like looking back at all of these Vitality results as well on Mirage as part of that loss streak, and they're losing to some of the best teams in the world, right? Like we're talking G2, Heroic, formerly Gambit, right now known as Cloud9, Ents, a couple of losses against FaZe, a loss against Na'Vi.
Cloud9, that's me.
In that loss streak, there's no slouches.
No.
They're all like top 10 teams in the world. So
and the results you can see getting gradually better.
Yeah.
It's like it starts at 16-4, 16-7, and now we're looking at 16-14s and overtimes, and that one win, as you highlighted, up against Mouse, just to get their feet here. Vitality getting to the major in a brutal affair up against the Mouse boys.
Yeah, that was a rough one to watch.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing one of them wasn't going to make it.
Well, let's see how good this half can be. 10 is possible for Vitality right now. One more. Final rounds here, round number 15 of the half, and this time a different look. It's going to be an Apartments Palace pop, and it's just Glaive on the site right now.
Oh!
That's it, we're in.
Masuta's done it again. Just as easy as that, cracking open Glaive's head. And a late lurk mid still established. We get to see Magisk arrive late. Got to be careful of that. Oh, God, never mind. Apex with the drive-by. You blink and you miss it. Config's hobby has been cut short. On the AWP, yeah, that's the late mid from Magisk. Farley's got nothing to say about this one, but Zip and Blame starting to get a bit of a heater. Multi-frag from Zip.
Timing.
And Magisk down 2. It's the two of them that make it possible for a 6th, and that will soften the blow of an otherwise rather back and forth half.
Yeah, good stuff right there to get one on the way out the door here to at least give themselves 6. To be fair, you get the pistol, you're back in it, right? So this is still very, very close. You can see some smiles on the face, so the mood's still pretty good over there in the Astralis camp. But what is amazing to me is in this first half of play, Vitality only managed to get themselves 4 opening kills, 2 for dupreeh and 2 for Masuda, right? The rest of the opening kills went all in the favor of Astralis right there, and Vitality still win out the half in a 9-6 fashion.
What does that tell you?
Good trading and good space taking off your
Only
teammates'
6
depth. For example,
rounds.
like that round where they went into B and Masuda gets 3, they lost the opening exchange, but Masuda was trading
all the way in.
Yeah, like, I was going to say fantastically. If you get 3, it's a little bit more than fantastically. That's more than he should be worth in that situation. I think the round as well, where dupreeh goes down top mid to Config in that aggressive exchange, and then Masuda comes out with 2 Deagle kills. That's another round that they didn't get the opening kill, but they were able to convert. And I continue to say the name of Masuda in those situations, right? So in the mid to late rounds or after the opening exchange, this is where Vitality looked very good.
It's totally in your interest, yet a desperately difficult balance to strike, where you want Masuda to be comfortable but not taking space.
Yeah.
Go figure. All right, pistols and a heavy lean from Astralis. Sides have swapped on the assault, and 4 bodies committing out of the apartments. It's Masuda with dupreeh on the box, though. And already Magisk has done some damage. Long range, pre-arrival. Farley's back is turned, tagged up nicely. dupreeh with a dunk to finish, and getting messy. Config's here. ZywOo will put him down after the double. ZywOo's putting everyone down. Another quick click. 2 bullets is all he's used. And that's 3! 3 bullets, 3 frags. ZywOo's in the server as he ascends to the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, beautiful shots right there. Bruh. Any panic you thought you had has just been solved. ZywOo.
That was very good.
And he just looks bemused.
That was very good, I must say.
Making sure he understands the game plan. This was Magisk's opener, and it really does soften the blow that these guys have to deal with. And this second shot, let me see that again. And then number 3, equally as gorgeous.
I would have aced, yeah.
Config's gonna meet ZywOo quickly, very early into the minute 55. 10 seconds off the clock, and Config's
Mortared F with 80 months. Toss, Lego Boy XD, Kinto, Harry Potter, Joggly, and Kenobi with the 1 year. Says, who is he talking to, Lily?
So they were more exits. But they need some impact to step on up here, so...
Nicely done. Farley's at least stemmed
CV, thank you for the 4 years, man.
Scalp, let's see. I don't think they'll be able to get their hands onto that M4. If they want to hang around, they might just be destined for death. ZywOo looking for more.
Yeah, he's got the perfect angle for this, and Farley's not going to have anything to say about that.
The Eeks. You can see he's just out here farming heads, everybody's favorite kills. Even gets the M4 back over in the hands. So dupreeh gets a nice little upgrade for an MP9, and final player to find.
Get
one through the floor, one to the skull, and there we have it. So yeah, they preserve as many rifles as they possibly could. A FAMAS and 2 M4 as they reach 11. Now you said, sure, after a 9-6 half, you win the pistol. Well, what happens if you don't? you're going to be staring into a rather bleak outlook coming into this T side, no less. I mean, I cannot reiterate enough that this 9-round T haul is going to be echoing into the second half.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult to replicate because you think about the rounds where maybe Masuda had some
bangers. Did he put his name on this keyboard?
Are Australis going to be able to do the same, or do we need to turn to some aggression? Some players of the in-game leader, a Glaive here, looking to take a lot of mid-control early and straight up towards Chair. Does have some space, can apply pressure with presence alone. And
hello everyone, I can joke now, NCS.
Early default map presence here, blaming through the underpass.
That wasn't the whole joke. Okay, so NCS.
Zip and Comfy hoping to work.
You are laughing to really wait for the joke to finish. Okay, so NCS.
They can force them to use that utility. Part of the game.
Well, I give up.
I felt for his cheeky game there. A lot of steps and a bit of a shot.
Didn't fool Masuda either, who held on to his smoke quite stoically. So still will have that in case the re-initiation comes. And the X-ray, you can see the crosshair placement is in the right spot, but prepared for the close fight. Just slither of information.
Don't smash it. Look at Masuta's confidence on this.
What did he see?
This is huge. This is insane. They know it's A now.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but he could even flank mid if he's really brave. From Palace, from Connector, all attention drawn, and Zai was very quick on his draw. Config comes out the Palace. He's paranoid about the flank. He knows it was left open. And Masuta is going through T-spawn as it stands. Glaive catches Dupree short. Apex stuck between two ideas, and Astralis are farming. There's only 2 left. Masuta, good chance for 1. Doesn't choose to discipline, still punishes. Config's gone. 2-on-2 established, more impact felt by Masuta, and they have planted for Connector. Okay, can't get across. A risky round, and it nearly fell apart there. 2v4 goes 2v2. Astralis, though, on the board.
Yeah, they had to hit those shots on the cross, right? Because you can see where the bomb was planted on the other side of triple. If they were able to slip into the site.
It was the other side.
That push from Masuda should have been it all, right? But they were very keen to fight. Like, that fight from Glaive's okay, but continuing to fight, giving up a kill or two too many right there, not allowing the flank to come on in. They can get out 2 rifles. Couple of digs, a 5-7 light on this. Astralis can start working their way back into this game now.
Yeah, they're definitely in a prime position to close this gap. Silence falls across the server. Not a peep out of this T side. Three smokes is all they have, Chad.
I think trying to identify what they're up against here. So the most they have to note right now is a smoke B and a smoke connector. Otherwise, it's been pretty barren across the map from the CT defense. So could there be an AWP somehow? Where is there rifle stacks? What are we dealing with here? And just through this utility alone, the window smoke connector, the mid presence, they've actually drawn out the rotation. Vitality have gambled over towards A completely. They've foregone this B bomb site, and as the utility starts to ring on out towards the other side of the map, it's likely to see them just go for a save in this situation. There's really no way back on in, so we might get a unicorn round here.
Can we highlight that Farley smoke as well? Just an underhand in the apartments. You can see what it obscures that Magisk angle he was hitting on that pistol, but that's probably the most exciting thing we have to say about this round.
Yeah, simple stuff, and just through positioning alone here. So I'm not sure what Astralis saw that made them go for B. It could have just been a call of, hey, let's finish B after we feign some mid control. Either way, it can't work out better
Pacifist
for Glaive with a call
what
like
the
this.
fuck
Just
is
sponsors
this?
on in, gets the bomb on down. 5v5 going to be able to stay alive. This is nice because they don't have a bank to work with. But on the other side, Vitality will get to have a second go of it with all of these weapons that they're holding onto here. And if you're Astralis, you didn't really identify what was on the other side. So you do have that question mark of exactly what came out to play. You'd see Dupree didn't even shoot the Deagle, right? He still has all the reserve ammo, didn't even shoot a bullet. So and that would be the same for the majority of their members on Vitality here. And in the first half, with the saved Scout and the saved Deagles, Astralis were able to pull a round out, right? And this is a bit more potent of one of these scenarios here. So if Astralis now want to go a bit quicker, right? The thing is, you You might. Here you go. You're getting your highlight.
Thank you very much. Yeah, even I could get that lineup.
There you go. Easy one. You wonder now, do you run the same round if you're
What
Astralis?
is that from?
Because you don't actually know what was on the other side.
That protects you from short.
So if they save, what did they save?
Very good.
Do we go fast and risk it, or do we go slow?
That protects you from the short window angle. I didn't know that.
Pace, and they're both here. Good God, they could boost. Blame could be in prime position. He's already got across to Delpan. I mean, maybe Glaive unawares. Blame likely, unbeknownst to him, has this boost established. But there's a lot of bloodshed about to go down in mid here.
If they could just... Oh, is Masuda going to clear?
He might.
It's not...
He doesn't, and that's Blame with a huge opening. One of the rifles falls. Masuda, the prime Masuda, as he currently is, concedes his 14th. Apex got a lot of responsibility, but is allowed to get to triple. Never mind, takedown. Zip
That's
confirms the bomb and gets a fresh mag. 2 more on his plate. Farley spotted Tetris. He's got no support other than the Deagles of Dupree and Zywoo.
Team!
They got the bomb. They're able to get on out right now. Minute on the clock. Plenty of time to regather. Zywoo can get himself a rifle. Blame is going to try and take some space over towards B, and the closest responder will have to be Dupree, who's just called mid clear. Blame should be in. He should be able to fortify this bomb site, but it's going to be a difficult site to hold on to. All 3 players of Vitality now have rifles.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a conundrum for Apex. He knows it's likely that someone already into B is kitchen available to him, and oh, Dupree. Oh, spotted out. Knows it's bench. Knows it's Farley in the app. They've worked it out. Good shots out of Apex, and he nearly gets the second astray from Glaive. He's alive and kicking, and now Glaive to come up clutch in the one-on-one.
One-on-one situation, ladies and gentlemen.
But Zywoo's got another one. Another clutch out of Zywoo.
The pressure that Apex just applied all across the map is insane. The fights that he was persistent in taking towards Tetris. He dropped that bomb. He flustered Astralis. He forced them back, and just there, he doesn't care. He's jumping out the window. He's just taking fights. You see,
definitely not worth it in a 1v1 situation to give away information.
To jump on out and get in your face. Look at this. He doesn't care. Just jumping on straight through. 2 massive kills for him here to set them up for this one-on-one situation. And back and forth we go again.
Yeah, that's heavy impact fragging out of Apex. Zywoo with nice move to get himself up and over, and it's not over yet. A missed shot out of the Farley AWP, and now he's got a face full of lead. The aggression out of Magisk has enabled
better a face full of lead than dead.
We've got 90 seconds and a 2-man frag find from the boys of Vitality. Zywoo still not giving up mid.
Yeah, the fact he's hanging around shows so much confidence, and they just want to take these fights. And continues to take some glances, has a lot of utility to work with, but just wants to find the fight.
He's got Dupree fully assuring him. He knows he can just sit here, jiggle until the cows come home. And here they come. You've got nothing. You have to take this duel, but there's going to be 2 of them, 3 of them taking that fight. Zywoo needs no help as he gets up to 20.
They're accounting for everything here. Molotov there towards the underpass just to make sure that no push or pressure can come behind. Now they can slink back and play a 2-2 setup, knowing that they have this 2-man advantage here.
Come on, Astralis.
Huddle up into the sites, 50 seconds remaining. Sure, there's going to be a couple of gaps, but you have the bodies to just set up very, very tight crossfires. They have to walk into them.
Just kill 2 people, get the plant, defend, and win. Oh no.
Zywoo, and paces himself nicely. Second frag of the round. Blame F, left to his own devices with 25 seconds. He's got no hope of trying to crack into the site and getting that bomb down.
Yeah, it looks like it might just be a save here, starting to backpedal as well over
Astralis
the TV room. So
needs
13
to
now
push
secured for Vitality, and the
round.
issue is that was a buy out of Astralis, right? They've gone all in for
every
that.
round.
Lost bonus.
Let's go A.
Slide on, we're towards the bottom of the barrel here.
But this is the kind of plays, you know, you weren't seeing so much of for Dupree and Magisk when they weren't being shouted at by Apex. Just immediately commanding control of this.
If they go A
up to top
every round, they will win every round.
They're really in the pressure cooker right now, Astralis, right? Because this saved AK is probably the best thing that they have to wield here. Config could buy on in with an AK of his own with head armor, but the rest are roughly 1900, right? So if you were to save in this environment right now...
Mid is shit.
It's still not going to look great because Blame doesn't get the loss bonus, right?
Mid is fucking shit.
It's still going to be some emissions here. So they're... Looks like they're going all in.
Overrated.
You can see a MAC-10 brought up for Glaive. A Galil in the hands of Config here. Some pistols being upgraded in for the likes of Farley and Zip. So, yeah, this is really it for Astralis. If they lose this one, next round, they'll have to take a save. That should be 15 secured for Vitality before the buy can come out again. Astralis need to convert this round or the game is basically done.
Yeah, but look at what they've got to work with. I mean, not only have you just outlined the stakes, but now I'll outline the weaponry. You've got Galil's Mac 10 Tech 9.
Oh, they're going A!
Save. See if he can continue to be their highest
They listen to me.
Now when it matters most, we need impact out of Blame.
3 players with that head armor here as
They
well.
have 2 pistols though, and a Mac 10, just letting you know, and a Galil, just saying.
Tomatoes. Nice nade actually to soften the blow. Good start with the tag. Zywu caught on the ladder on the way out.
But they still win.
So keep it at level.
They still win
a lot of space.
because I told them A. They're weak on A.
Magisk has got some support. Apex completely caught out, flashed, executed, and Astralis are showing signs of life when they needed to. Gap pushed.
Man, vad fan! Smoke equals wall, lil W. Even my chat knows better.
At a crucial juncture, and now the bomb lies in his control. Even the crossfire, look how mean that is as Magisk slots into dark. The pressure on Blame to close, and even Dupree sliding into CT to ensure all of the avenues are covered off.
Oh, that was good.
How do you get out of this one? Info. Dupree goes both ways. Blame may not
anticipate this.
He's not expecting it.
How is he here? How is this guy here?
Config, however, will retrieve the bomb, or at least enable the possibility. Back turn. Both line up. Magisk has secured 14. And Apex, he knows exactly what that indicates. They are close. They're within touching distance of taking down Astralis after taking 3 of their men.
It was good. It was good. It was half eco.
Might settle out a bit of a Mirage win streak. Could be 2 on the trot right here for Vitality.
And for some reason, the opponent's team.
I cannot believe the disrespect on that smoke.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was about to say. They were disrespecting like a motherfucker right now.
We're off again into the mid realm. Happy to throw aggression into it, and you're gonna have nothing, absolutely nothing, to enjoy this round. Instead, the Danes have to swallow their pride and maybe even swallow a nade or 2. It is Deagles, Glocks, and a vicious Vitality side here out to play tonight.
I spoke about the opening kills in the first half. I haven't been keeping track here in the second, but I'd say Vitality are mauling them in that department. It just feels like they've been taking so many fights and so much initiative. And you know what is a luxury? I know that Zywu only got 1 kill in that previous round.
Farming eco frags
playing
for fucking tournament statistics.
It doesn't feel like it should make any sense.
What you get.
Look at this.
Get him.
Guns in the open a bit right now.
Get him all.
Monkey's getting away with it as well, trying to make sure nothing can be celebrated. Blame has flipped the script with a couple
Oh my god, actually get them all.
An opportunity
1 on 2
to force a clutch, and now Blame with one of his own. Trajectory betrays, but not allowed to get anything more done. I can't believe it already. Vitality with 7 opportunities. 7. To take this one home and to win the battle for pride between these rosters at the major, no less. Blame with a couple of good shots, but nothing more than stat padding.
Yeah, too little too late,
Don't
really,
put the
in that
blame
regard,
on
good
him.
damage nonetheless. They can get the buy back through to get those 7 consecutive required to get us to overtime. Apex aggressive again, jumps on out the window here. Glaive can be flashed off top mid.
No early underpass to punish this regular drop out of the window. I say that, Blame is there, and the smoke is too. Don't stop him. Apex down.
How does he know?
Through the smoke. No one has seen their opponent so far here in round 24. And Dupree versus Glaive. A brand new tale.
Gets one back, draws them back into the 4-on-4 situation, and the Zipex damage unconfirmed. They won't know that they legged him on through the smoke there, so going for another aggressive up and over, clamping down on mid. All the CTs are here. Everybody's here. Yeah, Connector, window, short boost. They're locking this down.
Config just got across, but they get a flash of info. Now Zywu has Config locked. Another flash of Config. They're regrouping A. Everything indicates.
He thinks it's
still a 2-2 split. It's going to be Magisk and Zywu keeping him at arm's length, pre-aiming the jump back across, and he does catch it. Config down. Just Farley and Zipex here, but Vitality for a convincing win. It's Farley, the healthiest of the 2. Would really have to pull up his socks here. Zip in support. And Farley caught out a timing from Magisk, and there you have it, 16-8. And that is going to feel damn good
Why?
This
the knife,
blend
though.
of Dane and French royalty has taken Counter-Strike by storm, and it seems to have hit their peak at the right time. Takes down former teammates, puts them into the 1-1 category, and now 2-0 red carpet rolled out for the next stage of competition. 3 opportunities, best of 3s. Vitality set for the next stage now.
Yeah, good time to get your act together as well, especially on a map like Mirage, right? So great victory, a lot on the line right there. Good stuff, enjoying what we have from Masuda. ZywOo heating up, looking hot to trot, but just a well-oiled machine right there and a big victory. So great stuff to Vitality. They join the likes of Force, G2 and ENCE, and that's the 2-0 bucket for tomorrow to qualify for the next stage of the major.
Yeah, we'll see what the panel thought about that one. 9 T rounds, quite the achievement. Vitality's Mirage getting stronger.
An incredible feat and a matchup for the history books. Vitality are the ones to etch their name, and what a spectacular fashion to do it in. Potentially 1 spot away from claiming their place in the Legend stage. And man, this has got to be a sweet, sweet taste for the likes of Dupree, Magisk and Zonic, managing to take revenge over their former team, and what a style to be doing it in.
Yeah, they did it in a quite convincing fashion. I thought after watching the first, 6, 7, 8 rounds that this is going to be a close game. This is exactly what I expected. 2 teams who are not too comfortable on Mirage, that both have, good individuals that can show up and can make the difference. But, as long as we got into the game, the more deep we got into it, ZywOo started to heat up, Vitality started to heat up, and at the end of the day, there was no doubt Vitality were by far the better team.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I was very critical of Vitality going into this tournament. I didn't really see a direction of how they wanted to play. It didn't really make sense when I looked at it, but they have completely smashed my, thought process about that, because they've shown they have, Misuta being back, being super impactful in this game. He had multiple moments bringing rounds back with a 3K or a B side, 2K there in jungle when he timed the smoke, and there were so many moments which I thought he really, really brought the game back to them. And it's something that's been missing before. That's
a game changer. When your weak link all of a sudden is coming into a tournament of this pedigree, and he's so far one of the best performers for the lineup, if not the best performer for Vitality so far. That's a game changer, of course. We kind of critiqued Misuta a little bit to begin with. Obviously, Vitality not getting off to the best start, and you have to look for scapegoats. You have to look for players that didn't really live up to the potential. And Misuta were one of those players that we said that he could do better. But right now, he's putting us all to shame. He's playing some fantastic Counter-Strike, and as you said, he's finding very impactful moments in the middle of the rounds.
Yeah, hugely impactful, indeed, completely blowing our expectations out of the water. And just looking at some of the highlights there, incredibly diverse in what he was able to do as well. A lot of opening kills, managing to crack open bomb sites, obviously clutches as well, which is a huge surprise for us coming into things, because I think when we saw this kind of switch up of the Danes coming into Vitality, for me it was a big question, because we were kind of prefacing Misuta as being this secondary star, and when you've got sort of really experienced names like Magisk, like Dupree coming onto the roster, for me it was a big question of how Misuta would kind of adapt around that, and we have seen him struggling in the past month. So this is a brilliant sign if you're a Vitality fan coming into the major.
Yeah, I mean, they put in the work. It's clear as day. They put in the work. They've changed something. They've made everyone more comfortable in their roles, and you can really see that really shines through, and I'm super impressed.
I think it was Banks that was saying he did an interview with, was it Zonic? I think he was saying, and talking a little bit about how he was integrating ZywOo in particular to get him feeling a bit more comfortable in this form. I think we do have to take some of the comments we've seen with a pinch of salt about ZywOo. He's clearly still the second best player in the world, even with his recent form in some previous events. But it's great to hear how Zonic is kind of helping him mold into an even more comfortable role within Vitality, which we definitely saw.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was always evident that Vitality would need time in order to perform at their highest levels, but I still think even for Zonic and Vitality themselves, they were a little bit disappointed that they've been struggling so much. But as you said, Freya, having to integrate 2 different philosophies playing Counter-Strike, Astralis on one side, Vitality on the other, 2 very different teams. It must have been hard for ZywOo to figure out where his spot within the team is, but we saw in this game, especially with the clutch as well that he pulled off.
From this and the previous game.
It was just amazing to see ZywOo find so much impact without dropping 35 kills.
I wish they had an off guard in the lineup.
This clutch right here, that's just some OG ZywOo stuff. When he's playing at this level, when he's in this zone like this, well, there's only one player in the world who can contest him, and that's simple, and he's not at this tournament right now.
Yeah, I want to bring up a point that you were saying.
Yeah, this guy is nuts.
You
kind
of
ZywOo guy.
blame it from the side of Astralis.
Absolutely fucking nuts.
Coming into Mirage, and he didn't do a half bad job. He's got 117 ADR, 25 frags on the board. Yet Astralis still weren't able to pull it over the line. So what did you kind of see as
the main AWPer
coming into the second half, where we only saw them getting 2T rounds?
I don't even think Astralis did anything wrong in this game. I think it was more, you know,
why
those
didn't he
impactful moment from both
Mirage is a shit
beautiful
map.
crisp, you know, sections with Saivu, especially on the CT pistol when you see 3 crisp one-taps with the USB. That was just like, I was
at high level
away, you know, it was beautiful.
How do you think this frames Vitality
smokes
then
are
going
just
into
too
the later
good on
stages of the
Mirage.
competition? They're now in that best of 3 slot, if you will.
It's
They've got 3 chances to be qualifying
Rifles
for
are
that legend
OP.
stage. Do you think maybe
Rifles cost
we were
half an op.
underestimating them coming into this tournament, or do you think that
Twice
they've done
as
what they
usable
needed to
on
do to show
Mirage.
that they're improving and they're working on their game plan?
I think they've done what they needed to do in order
Just
to
saying.
show us that they're improving. I think we saw it even during the RMR event as well. They were very unlucky with the drawing as well. We talked about it constantly. The fact that they made FaZe and Na'Vi, you know, as the 2 teams they ended up losing to. An incredible rough route to even get to the major. So yeah, no doubt that Vitality has been struggling a little bit. They've been trying to find their identity, but I think we already during the qualifiers saw them get better. And as you said, it's clear to me as well that they put in the work coming into this stage of the major, and they're looking fired up right now. I'm not ready to say that they're one of the favorites to win the entire thing, but the way they're playing right now, they're definitely one of my favorites to go 3-0.
Well, of course, that does cement them in that 2-0 spot. And we can take a look at the collection of results today. Of course, we've had 2 streams going on with a hell of a lot of Counter-Strike going down. Of course, it was just best of 1 series. I'm going to throw it over to you, gentlemen. What do you think the biggest surprise we've seen thus far is? Anything kind of standing out to you, Jacob?
The biggest surprise to me, honestly, in this tournament, and it's a little bit boring for a lot of people, but the way Forsen has been playing Counter-Strike so far has been very, very impressive. The fact that they were able to win both their games quite convincingly, taking down
I didn't know he watched my stream.
1-0 game, now putting themselves in a position where they're only 1 game away from qualifying for the next stage, to me is very impressive. And then, of course, Team Liquid's downfall. The fact that they're now in a situation where they're 0-2 and just 1 match away from not qualifying, that's a disaster.
I also want to highlight the ENCE result against Outsiders. I think it was a bit more dominant than I expected.
Who Spirit?
But they had some huge moment there to turn
G2
it around.
is pretty good in Counter-Strike, so they play very close to it.
So
I don't know who Spirit is.
Yeah, of course they are the 2-0
Danish.
going into tomorrow as well, along with another collection of them. I do want to highlight just their
Nina
MIPR
Spirit.
versus 9D matchup that was going
Russian
on at the same time
19-year-old
as the
squad.
Vitality Astralis series. Incredibly close, an absolute nail-biter there in a 16-14 fashion.
GT
seemed like Total
choked.
was the guy really coming out of the woodwork for them here, but you surprised to see it
All right.
potentially being so close, or
Time
was this kind of
for
expected
Forsen
from 2
place.
teams that have had such a huge regional?
I think that was expected, you know, a very close game. I
What
think
games are
9C
tomorrow?
is a bit underestimated in the sense that the way...
Germany or France? Germany. Wait. Do you have rights for the whole major? That's what he told me. That's what they told me. That's what they told me. You go. Why don't you go and fuck off then? Sidox here for 4 years.